This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. More beaches and parks revelations. Some contractors getting paid to do the same work. $21 million in additional obligations added before the election. What health officials are saying about the Omicron variant and travel and the holidays. And in Morning Blend business, we are getting the latest on what's going to happen this Junkanoo season from the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Friday, December 3rd, 2021. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Stephen Hanna will be joining us. Also this morning, we'll get details about the Laws of Life essay competition, and we'll have another drawing of the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, Bahamas Public Parks and Beaches Authority Chairman Mikel Bonnaby saying that some contractors who were given work under the former board were being paid to do the same work, and others were doing work for the authority without contracts. He said the authority took on an additional $21 million in additional obligations in the months leading up to the September 16th general election, in a clear sign of electioneering, his word. He said in the House yesterday that the authority is laden with heavy obligations. And he said contractors are calling the authority every day looking for payments. He says, quote, "We have different categories for contractors that cannot produce contracts at all, looking to be paid. In this category, contractors state that they have signed the contracts but were told to come back to receive their copy only to be told that there is no contract." The former Minister of Administration and former executive chairman of the authority, St. Barnabas MP Shannon Cartwright, has come under heavy scrutiny over the pre-election contracts. On Monday, Prime Minister Philip Davis revealed that the authority's budget increased from $15.2 million to a projected $37 million. Works Minister Alfred Sears was the first to speak on the contracts. He said there was a rash of contracts issued by the authority ahead of the election, some without board approval. East Grand Bahama MP Kwesi Thompson accusing the Davis administration of not prioritizing improvements at the Rand Memorial Hospital on Grand Bahama. Thompson said the supplementary budget, which parliamentarians were debating in the House, removed a line item of $19 million for the hospital work. It would be a good idea to either introduce mandatory RT-PCR testing or reduce the window for pre-departure testing for individuals traveling to the Bahamas. This amid concerns regarding the Omicron COVID-19 variant, and that's according to Dr. Nakia Forbes. She says testing does provide an opportunity to screen and try to reduce travel-related cases. She says in view of Omicron, it would be a good idea to introduce PCR testing in the meantime and probably introduce testing closer to the travel date. While there is a benefit of rapid antigen testing, she says there are pros and cons to both test formats. And in a unanimous decision, the Court of Appeal overturning a Supreme Court decision that could have potentially affected close to 160 voluntary bills of indictment signed by a lawyer whose application for admission to the Bahamas Bar Association was rejected. On October 7th, Supreme Court Justice Deborah Fraser ruled that the committal of Keynes Villas to stand trial on 4 counts of unlawful sexual intercourse was invalid because the VBIs did not comply with Section 258 of the Criminal Procedure Code. Villas' lawyer, David Cash, argued that the CPC required a qualified legal practitioner to sign the VPI since the bar had rejected the call application for Assistant Director of Public Prosecutions, David Bakenbinga. Cash contended he could not properly sign the VBI on behalf of the Director of Public Prosecutions. Appeal Court President Sir Michael Barnett said there's nothing in that section that prevents the Attorney General or the DPP from authorizing any person from acting as his agent signing the VBI. Overseas measures used to counter the Delta variant should remain the foundation for fighting the coronavirus pandemic, even in the face of the new Omicron version of the virus. World Health Organization saying this today while acknowledging that the travel restrictions imposed by some countries may buy time. While about 36 countries worldwide have reported Omicron infections, including India on Thursday, the numbers so far are small outside of South Africa, which is facing a rapid rise in COVID-19 cases and where the new variant may become dominant. Still, much remains unclear about Omicron, including whether it is more contagious, as some health authorities suspect, and whether it makes people more seriously ill or whether it can evade vaccine protection. That means continuing to push for higher vaccination rates, abiding by social distancing guidelines, and wearing masks, among other measures, according to officials with the WHO, who add that health systems must ensure that they're treating the right patients in the right places at time. In sports, there's a 3-way tie for the leader position at the end of the first round of competition for the 2021 Hero World Challenge, currently underway at the Albany Golf Course. Locked in the 3-way tie with a score of 6 under par, 72 are American Daniel Burt, Abram Anser of Mexico, and British player Rory McIlroy. You can read more about how things are going in today's Guardian Sports section. The 2022 Christmas Swimming Championship set for Barbados once again, giving that nation another chance to put on the regional event after the 2020 and 2021 editions were canceled because of COVID. Bahamas Aquatics Federation President Algernon Cargill, though, saying that they are ready to defend their title and win a fourth straight championship. The championship is historically held during the Easter holiday weekend, which will be the weekend of April 16th through 20th. As of October 27th, Barbados has removed the quarantine requirement for fully vaccinated visitors. The quarantine requirement is still in place for unvaccinated visitors. Cargill stating that if the team has to quarantine, the Federation will not send a team. Read more about that in today's Guardian Sports section as well. And from the NFL Thursday Night Football action, the Dallas Cowboys getting a victory over the struggling New Orleans Saints, winning 27-17. Cowboys are now at 8-4 for the season. The Saints fall to 5-7. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for a first look at weather. In your weather for today, high pressure over the eastern Gulf of Mexico will build across the area as low to mid-level troughing will support pockets of showers over the islands. Beachgoers should exercise caution due to the moderate threat of rip currents along north and east coast beaches. For today, for the northwest and central Bahamas, look for partly to mostly sunny and warm conditions with a few lingering showers near the trough, turning fair to clear and mild tonight. Small craft should be alert to winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers. Winds north to northeast at 10 to 15 knots in the northwest and central islands, seas 2 to 4 feet. For the southeastern islands, partly sunny to cloudy with a few scattered showers near the trough through tonight, mostly sunny and warm, turning fair and warm tonight elsewhere. Small craft should exercise caution. Winds north-northeast to east-northeast at 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet. Temperature-wise, today we're looking at highs getting up to around 82 Fahrenheit, 28 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 61 Fahrenheit, 16 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit. It's time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and talk all day.
RBC has been growing with the Bahamas for over 110 years. We are committed to deepening our relationship with existing clients and forging new ones in the future. With investments in youth, education, and environmental initiatives, we're dedicated to helping you and our communities grow.
We're here to help you flourish. We're RBC.
RBC Royal Bank.
Janae's Christmas Wonderland is open under the Big Tent. Get 20 to 50% off selected Christmas decorations. Restrictions apply. Trees in pink, frosted green or white in a variety of sizes. LED and laser lights, a large variety of tree ornaments. Lighted angels, Santa tree toppers, bright and lively colored Christmas balls. Garlands, wreaths, red and white stringed cranberry. Tree skirts, stockings, and lots more. Add flowers, picks, and decorative mesh to brighten up your home or office this holiday season. And don't forget the toys at Janae's Chesapeake Road. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Janae's Limited. WhatsApp 817-3295.
You can win. You can win Everybody can win with Esso this Christmas. Win with Esso every week in the Fill Up and Win this Christmas promotion. Simply spend $25 or more in fuel, write your name, email, and telephone number on the back of your receipt, and drop it in the entry box provided for your chance to win loads of weekly prizes. Promotion ends December 22nd, 2021. Terms and conditions apply. Visit bettergasmileage.com/fill-up-and-win for more details. The Esso brand is a trademark of ExxonMobil Corporation and is used under license.
Food security is a challenge for many. Now in a pandemic, many more are unsure of their next meal. Through their Feed 5,000 program and a $20,000 donation, AML is working to ensure that everyone has a meal for the holidays, and they're inviting you to help. Now until December 17th, visit any Solomon's, Costrite, Fresh Market, or Domino's in Nassau or Freeport, and Exuma Markets in Georgetown to donate and help feed a family in need this Christmas. No amount is too small. Remember, we're all in this together.
You've heard about the 12 days of Christmas, but this year, Rev is giving you even more Christmas with 31 days of giveaways. Simply sign up or upgrade to Trio or pay your Rev bill in full. Then listen to yours truly, the Natural Empress and Free Your Mind every weekday to find out if you've won prizes like 55-inch smart TVs and up to $20,000 in cold hard cash. Call 601-8992 today. Rev, you and us together.
Technology makes every day in life just a little bit easier. Whether it's for joy, productivity, or creativity, Custom Computers has all the latest gadgets to conquer any obstacle. Imagine automating mundane tasks with tech and living a freer, richer lifestyle, all while staying on top of your goals. The path to freedom could fit in the palm of your hand. Discover tomorrow's technology today at Custom Computers on Patton Street, Cable Beach, and Caves Village through the Blake Road entrance.
We are working to protect our country, our people, and our livelihoods so that we can move forward. The vaccine is safe. The vaccine is easy. The vaccine is essential for our recovery. If we want to rebuild our economy, if we want to get back to our jobs, if we want to get back to our lives, our families, we must do this together.
What does Christmas mean to you? What about the joy and satisfaction you get in starting the home projects you've wanted to do all year? CIBC First Caribbean helps you make your Christmas wishes come true with easy and flexible financing on personal loans. Apply online and smile all the way this holiday season. Visit CIBCFCIB.com for more information. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up. Wake up.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. Also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Stephen Hanna will be joining us. And you can join the conversation as well. Tweet us at morningblend969 or Facebook us, facebook.com/morningblend969. Email us, morningblend@nascar.com. Or you can text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Coming up this morning, we have more weather and traffic. And in our 8 o'clock hour, we're going to be finding out about the Laws of Life essay competition. We told you about this before, and we had the winners on. They had some amazing essays for us. And this year's competition is here now, and we'll get some details about that. We'll also have another drawing of the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle. And then later in our 9 o'clock hour, Morning Blend Business, we're going to be talking about Junkanoo. Everyone's been asking questions. What are we doing this year? Are we doing virtual? How is that going to work? Does anybody care about virtual? With other events happening, why can't there be some form of rush out in person? We'll talk with the JCNP about this morning, and the Ministry of Culture as well. So a lot to get to on this Friday morning. Let's begin, though, with what's in the news. And Stephen Han is joining us now. Stephen, good morning.
It's always here. It's always here.
Well, no, you weren't. But okay. But good to have you with us. This is a very Zoom. We got a lot of people with this. Anyway, good to have you, sir, on this Friday morning, first Friday in December. You ready for the holidays?
I guess.
Oh, boy.
Is there a holiday? I don't understand. What do you mean if I'm ready for the holidays? Is something special happening?
Obviously not for you. But anyway, good to have you with us as always.
Never does. Never does.
You got to change your life.
Christmas is the worst time of the year.
Oh, no, Scrooge. Oh, no. Oh, boy. Oh, well. We'll see if we can make it a little bit better for you this year. I don't know what we're going to do, but we'll see. All right. So, in the news, Omicron. Everybody's on edge about it. The more state U.S. reporting that they've got it now. I think it's about 5, the last thing I saw this morning, and so it's only a matter of time before it's 50, and before it's here. So what should our approach be to this? The WHO says, what you were doing for Delta should work for this. No need to go crazy on anything. But a lot of people still on edge in South Africa. It's raging there. So yesterday, health officials talked about this and what should happen. Should testing be revamped for travelers? Should we focus solely on PCR as opposed to rapid antigen tests? What are the pros and the cons? All of this coming up yesterday. Take a listen to this report from our Kyle Joaquin.
Testing does provide you an opportunity to screen and to try and reduce travel-related cases. In view of Omicron, it is a good idea to introduce PCR testing in the meantime.
Forbes said reducing the test time closer to the date of travel is also a good idea. It's a similar position being taken by the United States, with media outlets reporting U.S. President Joe Biden's plan to tighten rules, making it mandatory for all inbound international passengers to test for COVID 24 hours prior to their flight. Former Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands had recommended that health officials do away with the discrimination between vaccinated and unvaccinated individuals and make PCR testing the standard across the board for entry into the country.
It is time now, perhaps, that we move to PCR testing for everyone. And the discrimination against persons that are unvaccinated, it's time to roll that away.
But Forbes says when it comes to using antigen tests, there are pros and cons, with the pros being things like cost effectiveness and not requiring lab expertise.
It is not the best test for travel, but it is a balancing act. It is cost effective. It is fast. It doesn't require lab expertise. And again, none of these testing strategies are 100%. Still miss some cases, and so you do have to use travel, some other guidelines.
To enter the Bahamas, fully vaccinated individuals currently need a negative rapid antigen test no older than 5 days. Unvaccinated individuals must have a PCR test. As the Omicron COVID-19 variant pops up in more countries, health experts are keeping a close eye on it. And with the holidays now upon us, Forbes says health experts are discouraging travel unless necessary.
Now that we know about this new strain, and it appears to be very infectious, or at least based upon what we know anecdotally so far, it can cause a surge. It's causing a surge in South Africa. I do think that it would be prudent to use caution. If you are immunocompromised, older, if you have health risks, I would really say to you, really weigh your need to travel at this time.
That's our Kyle Joaquin with that report there. Okay, this is the same advice that people were giving last year, and it holds true. This is not yet. The world's not yet ready for everybody to just be, oh yeah, I'm back to traveling around. Not unless you really need to. But I don't know. Are people paying attention to that?
So that's exactly how this is spreading.
Yeah, exactly. People doing their excursions, traveling the world as if this were 2018. But as people say, and the last couple of years have proven, you only live once. You got to make the most of it. I guess that's the approach some people have. So what do we do in a situation like this? We're just trying to get back to normal, things starting up again that haven't been happening since before March of 2020. And now the word of caution, just as the engines start running again. Are people ready to hear that? Or just going to go all in on whatever they've got planned? Let's get your views on it, folks. Give us a call, 323-6232. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. People have been saying for months, we've got to learn to live with it. We've got to learn to live with it. It's going to be around for a while. More variants are going to come. This is going to be the way it is. And should that stop the show, do what we've been told we need to do. Wear the masks. Sanitize at any point you can, any chance you get. And social distance, despite all the holiday parties and whatever. Is that going to be enough? And are people doing that at all?
Some are. Mm-hmm. I just think, it's inevitable that people are going to get tired and experience fatigue with all of the things that you have to do. Yeah, it's not, none of this is a surprise, but I think none of us want to go back to like complete lockdowns. And I don't think that any could take it. And that's probably why South Africa is very upset. And they're like, don't lock us out. But hey, what you gonna do?
This text here, Dwight, with the greatest respect, only you and the good doctor are on edge. Well, I'm not on edge, actually. But anyway, okay. Most of us really don't care. All the dumb moves the U.S. will take will be followed by our own clueless health officials. I am traveling. If I die, I die. I don't care anymore. Wow. Oh, boy.
Isn't that what I said last week?
Okay.
Here's the thing, right? I don't agree with them completely, but at this point, I feel like everybody is like, everything is a risk. You could get on a plane and it could have engine failure and you could die. So take as much precaution as possible, but then you can't stop everything. People are at this point, but they're like, and some more so than others are like, I'm not going to, lick a toilet in the bathroom, but then other people are like,
How many people were doing that before?
you know, who knows? You'd
yeah.
be surprised.
Like,
You'd be surprised.
Maybe.
There's stories about TikTokers who.
Oh, you're not gonna go down this toilet licking thing. Is that where you go? You
You forgot the guy who
you're still
got
going on this?
COVID
Oh, okay.
from licking a toilet.
Oh, dear Lord.
When COVID first started, he thought it'd be funny until he went into a bathroom and licked the toilet, and then proceeded to get COVID. That's a thing.
Okay,
I was
let's,
like,
let's stare it back. Let's stare. Wow.
Anyway, whole point is
right.
I don't know. I don't know if concern feels like a weighty word, but I feel like most persons are cautious, and most persons will ask, "What can I do to make sure that I don't die, or what gives me the best chance of not dying without having to lock myself away and become a hermit again?" Where most people are at. I don't know. The travel rules, they keep changing every 10 seconds.
It's so confusing.
Right. So I don't know what the rules are to go to the Family Islands at this point.
Yeah.
Let alone international. So it's like I'm very confused. Like, so is she recommending a PCR, or is she saying that we will need a PCR?
No, recommending.
Okay. So right now, and what did the U.S. say? Did the U.S. say that you just have to get it closer to the time of your
this is the thing. To go over, all you need is a rapid antigen test, and the test must be taken within 3 days?
Well, that's now, right? They didn't
3
change
days.
that?
That's now. But coming to the Bahamas, you have to have, if you're not vaccinated, a PCR test. And it must be taken within 5 days if you're not vaccinated. And then if you are vaccinated, I guess a rapid that's been unclear. Rapid antigen maybe, but
then also our test, like, wouldn't it still be? It might be positive if you had COVID in the past 3 months. Would you need to also travel with a document saying that you had COVID if you did previous to you leaving?
Well, you might want to take that test before you book any travel so that you see what's going on, just so you don't have any surprises. But, okay, so here we go. This is requirements for international travel. All citizens, legal residents, and visitors requiring entry into the Bahamas must present a travel health visa. Requirements of the travel health visa for vaccinated travelers, negative antigen or RT-PCR test taken no more than 5 days prior to travel, and proof of full vaccination. For unvaccinated travelers, negative antigen or RT-PCR test taken no more than 5 days. Same thing. So what's the difference? Okay. But apparently, as you heard in that report, some are calling for the end of discrimination against unvaccinated and that the rules should be the same for everybody. All right, so if that's the case, it's likely going to be that we eventually move to PCR test only, if that's the case. But that's for inter-island travel. Vaccinated people traveling to traveling from Acklands, Berry Islands, Crooked Island, Eleuthera, Inagua, or New Providence must present a negative antigen or PCR test taken no more than 5 days prior to travel and proof of full vaccination. Unvaccinated people traveling from Acklands, Berry Islands, Crooked Island, Eleuthera, Inagua, or New Providence must present a negative antigen or RT-PCR test taken no more than 5 days. It's the same. Okay. It's the same thing. Sure. Anyway, but yes. So options are still there. Will they change? That's the question with Omicron now and likely more in the future.
Excellent.
Okay. This person sent this text yesterday and they sent it again. If you're not vaccinated, make a COVID-19 insurance mandatory. Now, how would that work, and how will this benefit anyone but the insurance industry? What would that do? You have any idea how that would work, Stephen?
For the insurance, I don't know if they mean insurance for actual insurance purpose or they mean insurance like how previously there was the tax on persons where it was called an insurance. So I don't know what the tax are saying.
I don't know what they mean. No.
It's whatever. I mean, honestly, at this point, it's like I feel like we're all on the same page. We just want to, what are the rules? Okay, so this is what needs to happen. All right. And then you can make your decisions from there. How badly do you want to go to the States? Then, you have to make sure you get all these things in place. Don't get stuck over there while you're over there. Don't get COVID. And try to get back as safe as possible. As I listen to the news all around the world, right? All I'm hearing is persons of different countries returning from South Africa or have some history of travel to South Africa with this new variant. And because most countries don't turn away their own citizens, it's inevitable that it's going to spread all over the place. The question to me, and I think that most Bahamians are asking, is not necessarily is it more contagious, but is it more deadly?
Okay.
That's the question. I'm just saying, because at this rate, it's not like Bahamians are like, oh, shut it down, kick all the tourists out. It's like we know inevitably it's going to be here if it's not here already.
Yeah. All right. Let's take this call and get to some of your text messages. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Caller, good morning.
How you doing?
Doing well.
I'm listening to you and your co-host.
Morning.
You're making this travel thing a bit hard, and it's pretty simple. Me and my family just went off, and we just get back in, and it was a breeze. Why is it you're making it so complicated?
How are we making it complicated?
Yeah, because what I'm listening to, nothing happened like that.
Like what?
When we leave this country, all three of us was vaccinated, fully vaccinated, because that is the law. When we leave the country, we went off, we got the test, 3 days, which was on Monday, and we left on Wednesday. And when we come back, it was the same thing. We went down in West Palm. Well, we had a free test because that's what they do over there. Okay? And we came back on Wednesday again. And it was a breeze. Now, for those who is not in, we shouldn't even be talking about them. That's their business. We should be trying to keep Bahamians safe.
I don't think you got what we were saying, though. It's not that it's difficult.
I'm listening to you all quite well.
Yeah, it's not that difficult. What test did you get?
We got the PCR test at Bonavista or something, the lab, when we was leaving.
And when you're coming back,
we got the same test again because you have to put it on your phone. So when you get to the airport, you produce it.
Yeah. Nobody's saying it's difficult, just that...
but it sounds difficult how you're talking about it.
Well, then, I don't know why that would be. What we're saying is that authorities are debating whether we should be accepting rapid antigen tests and whether we should do PCR testing only. And there what we said...
They're making a mess out of it, believe me. But like I say, we traveled and we came back.
When did you travel?
Pardon?
When did you travel?
We traveled about 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Yep.
And we spent 2 weeks over here. So I'm trying to figure why is it so hard. Now, for those who wants to go to the family island, that ain't none of my business. But I know me and my family wanted a vacation to get away off of this lockdown thing. And we went off, and it was a breeze.
Okay.
You know?
No, that's great. Hope you had a wonderful time. Again, nobody's saying that it's difficult, just that people are wondering if we need to change some things. And so, yeah. All right, let's read just a few more of these before we move on. Somebody says, what I'd like to know is how the carnival could come here and start setting up with no permits and no authorization, but Dr. Darville seems to know nothing about it. Something isn't adding up. Well, okay. Well. Sure. This one says, I don't understand why we can't get the analysis of the number of people who have been hospitalized after the second COVID infection. They have pushed this fear button too much now. People are numb. Travel rules won't have to change if we use data and strategize. The fact changing every minute tells you everyone is getting caught off guard. No one has vision. No one is strategizing. So just sit back and see what Dr. Walensky tells us to do next. Okay. This one says here, the only solution to these viruses is go to the 23rd Psalms. I will fear no evil. God's word. End of story. Okay. And here, what's the cost to be on a ventilator? Oh, this is the insurance person. He says, what's the cost to be on a ventilator per day? Should that bill be on the backs of vaccinated citizens for those who are not vaccinated? Oh, boy. Okay.
Very, okay.
Wow. This one says here, this COVID variant just might be the virus we're waiting for. Omicron gives only a few, I don't know what that means. Omicron gives only a few mild symptoms. All the vaccine holdouts will now have the opportunity to get the natural immunity they keep speaking of without serious symptoms. Leave the country open and we can get to full vaccination or natural immunity.
Now, here's the problem with that. It doesn't change. Like, I hear you. But then what happens afterwards when they get to the next letter of the alphabet? This is like letter 15, right?
This text here, you just love to drag blankety blank on, man. No murder, so you're back on blanking COVID. No rape, so COVID. You all suck. We are blanking tired, Dwight.
I'm sorry. I blame, yep. Dwight, don't you have any good news to discuss?
No, not really. Okay. Hey, let's move on then to parks and beaches. More revelations about
Parks and Rec.
About the stuff that's going on in there, or had been going on in there, and it's quite a story. Take a listen to this from our Jasmine Brown.
Barnaby says the ballooned budget has placed the authority in a bad financial position.
Our obligations, Deputy Speaker, now far exceed the authority's approved budget. While $15.2 million was approved for 2021-2022, the authority's obligation is now approximately $37 million.
And that's not all.
Deputy Speaker, the authority has exceeded the annual approved budget by $22 million. To put this into context, that is larger than the budget for the Straw Market Authority, the Development Bank, and BAIC combined. Our obligations far exceed the approved funding allocated by Parliament. Our monthly obligation went from approximately $1.2 million to now nearly $3 million on a monthly basis.
Barnaby also gave a timeline.
The 1st of July, the monthly projected obligation was. During the same month of July of this year, the authority took on an additional approximately $10.6 million in new obligations. When I say new obligations, I am referring to contracts. Sometime between August and September, the authority became aware of an additional $11 million.
In Parliament on Wednesday night, former Executive Chairman Shannon Don Cartwright said he never acted recklessly during his tenure. He insisted many Bahamians benefited greatly, adding the authority never operated in a silo. However, Barnaby says some contractors were being paid to do the same work. He also revealed some contractors had been doing work for the authority, only to find out that no contract existed.
Contractors are calling the authority every day looking for payments. We have different categories of contractors. Contractors that cannot produce contracts at all, looking to be paid. In this category, contractors state, but they were told to come back to receive their copy, only to be told that there is no contract. Mind you, Madam Speaker, some of these contracts purportedly started working without a contract in hand. They allege that they were told to start working and that they will be paid later. There are contracts that exist that does not have the chairman's signature on it or the board's secretary's signature on it, but these persons have been carrying out work on behalf of the authority.
Bonnaby says due to the post-election discoveries, the authority now has the difficult task of trying to right-size operations amid a shortfall in finances. Reporting for Guardian News Network, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Okay. Here we go again. All right. So,
listen, there's a reason why there's procedure, right? And procedure is so that when people look back at your paperwork, they're not like, oh, were you stealing or were you giving out favors? Like, the whole thing of procedure is to prevent that sort of stuff, and like, it's not, even if there is no impropriety, it's going to look bad. You can't not have the signatures, because that means that it looks like there was no oversight to what you were doing. Like, you were doing it in a silo by yourself. You made these decisions and you didn't do it the right way. So, anyway.
Yeah, this is, what bothers me is that these things have been happening, keeps happening. What was all that all about? And Shandon Cartwright talked about the procurement, that big deal they made about it, how they were changing the process. It was going to be so different. We make these splashy announcements, and yet we find ourselves here.
Over and over again.
Over and over. What is this all about? What is really going on here? And often the same people who are complaining will be the ones on the receiving end of these things and know that it wasn't done the right way, and just like, oh, well, it's my time now. Just crazy stuff. Let's hear what you have to say, folks. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 496. Boy, this text here came in just on the tail end of the last conversation we were having. Are you guys against insurance? What now? Insurance is a good idea. What if you are an undocumented person who pays for your medical bills? Do we know of any undocumented persons were admitted to hospital for COVID-19?
Personally, no, I don't know.
I'm sure, but
I'm
what?
sure they are.
What? We didn't say we were against insurance. We're just asking what that person was suggesting, how that would work.
We're asking what was the insurance for?
Yeah, because you're going to tell undocumented people they have to pay a special tax, essentially, as Stephen said, and that is okay. You're going down a very dark road and trouble.
But here's the thing, right? I hear the saying undocumented, but like those are two very different issues, because now the question is, if you could find somebody, you identify them as undocumented, and then you get them to pay a tax, at this point, they're no longer undocumented because there's a document on them and they're tax-paying residents.
Right.
Now, you might say that they didn't enter the country through conventional means, but at that point, they're no longer undocumented. So, although I feel like this person is trying to say, well, we know what they're trying to say. They're trying to say, why we got to pay for Haitians, all right? But
I think they were trying to use an extreme example to
right
explain the other person's text.
To frighten us into it. But the whole point is, I don't think that their example works for this type of scenario.
Also,
right, so,
and I don't think, getting back to the original question, I'm pretty sure the majority of the unvaccinated people aren't going to be all happy to be paying this special tax that nobody else pays. Or
they don't want to wear a mask. You don't even want to pay a tax.
The insurance people, it's not going to be like they're going to be so willing to do that. If you think they are opposed to a vaccine, wait till you hear how they feel about this insurance that you're making them. No, I get what you're saying, but that's not going to be well received. They're not robots that you can program to do whatever you want.
If they're saying the insurance is for people who travel, then sure, why not? Add another thing on top of it, right?
For unvaccinated people?
I assume it would have to be for everybody because then you're going to have the issue once again. And this is why things don't happen. Because if you say, I want only the unvaccinated people have to pay this tax, right? Then people are going to say that's unconstitutional, which it isn't. And then they're going to complain about it. And then the government's going to be like, okay, well, we can't do that. So everybody pays it or nobody pays it.
Yeah.
And so we're right back to where we started in the first place.
Yeah. All right.
That's why right now for the travel, if you're vaccinated, you have to come with a rapid antigen or a PCR. If you're unvaccinated, you have to come with a rapid antigen or PCR. So suddenly, there's no real incentive to become vaccinated anymore because all of us could travel once we don't have COVID.
Yeah. This text here, back to beaches and parks. This person says, the situation needs some serious attention. This is unbelievable what I'm hearing. Someone needs to be held accountable. Can we just be honest and admit that the only people who complain are the ones who are not on the gravy train? I bet we will have the same conversation when a new party is elected to government. It's quite likely. We've been having the same conversation every 4 or 5 years. And then... is it unreasonable to think that an undocumented person will not be vaccinated?
I don't what? See, this is what I mean. Like, I feel like this is a different issue that this person has.
This is a new. This is
that they're pushing.
This is back to the insurance person now. Okay.
So they really were talking about undocumented persons.
But that last one about the undocumented person was a different text. So
no, but I'm saying
everybody.
Like the original texter was concerned about that as well.
My God. What's happening today? Okay. Right. Did you hear the voice note with Dave lambasting the PLP MPs? No, I did not. Dave is still around? Yeah. He's MPs now. You sure? You sure it was Dave? Already? Stephen, have you heard that?
I don't listen to foolishness.
Okay.
Where would I hear that?
Well, I certainly used to get them.
Which
a lot.
garbage can would I go to listen to that?
I used to get them quite a lot. People said me these things, but I haven't heard that one.
People clearly hate you, Dwight.
Yes, I know.
The people who have my phone number love me. They would never send me such dreck.
And what about a texter? What about it? Is it
they
justified?
Just say you hadn't heard him in a while, so you might want to know what he's up to now.
What are you suggesting? He's working for the other side now? Is he just an agent?
I don't think he's working.
The opposition?
Who knows?
Whoever's in opposition, he's a fan of. I think there are a lot of people like that. Oh boy! All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, more of what's making news on this Friday morning. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Wake up.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Coronavirus update. Good morning. I'm Ed Donahue with an AP News Minute. At least 5 states are reporting the presence of the new variant.
There are Omicron in New York City.
This is not a cause for major alarm. I need to say that because we do not have enough information.
Governor Kathy Hochul says the only way to slow the spread is for people to get vaccinated, booster shots, and
wear their masks indoors.
A case in Minnesota is now linked to New York. A man who was one of 50,000 attending an anime convention at the Javits Center. President Biden says the U.S. is tightening testing on foreign travelers, expanding vaccine accessibility, and pushing for more at-home and in-school testing.
Which could allow students to stay in the classroom.
A health official in Maine says Omicron is a spark on the horizon, but the Delta variant is the fire that's here today, with some 86,000 new cases every day nationwide. I'm Jackie Quinn.
And I'm Ed Donahue.
7:32, time for your Morning Blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. And a reminder of the work that's going on in a couple of areas in New Providence. We've got West Bay Street and the paving and milling work between Marcus Bethel Way and Chippenham Road. That work takes place in the evenings, so between 7 p.m. and 2:30 a.m. And that's expected to go on for 3 days, which today should be the third day, but if they're not finished, they're going to continue working. So keep that in mind. This could go on for a couple more days. That's one spot to keep in mind. The other is Claridge Road. The work going on mainly between 9:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. for about 14 days. That was scheduled to start on December 1st. So that is going to mean some road closures and diversions, and motorists are being asked to avoid the area if possible at all. In your real-time traffic this morning, we're seeing heavy traffic on Milo Butler Highway from Fire Trail Road up to Tonique Williams Darling Highway. That's in the northbound lanes. Gladstone Road also busy for you, just north of Fire Trail. In the northbound lanes to JFK Drive, Blue Hill Road. Heavy traffic, as usual, just north of Soldier Road. In the northbound lanes, they're heading towards the Independence Drive roundabout. And further south on Blue Hill, near the junction with Carmichael Road and between Carmichael and St. Vincent Road, you'll be seeing heavier traffic in the northbound lane, mainly. Elsewhere, we're seeing building traffic at some of the other hot spots. So along Prince Charles Drive, near Elizabeth Estates, and near the major intersections like Fox Hill Road and Beatrice Avenue and Soldier Road and Robinson Road. That's what we're seeing so far. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined. And at 7:34, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by John Bull. We've got high pressure over the eastern Gulf of Mexico. That's going to build across the area as low to mid-level troughing supports pockets of showers over the Bahamas. Beachgoers should continue to exercise caution due to the moderate risk of rip currents along north and east coast beaches. For today, for the northwest and central Bahamas, partly to mostly sunny and warm with a few lingering showers near the trough, and turning fair to clear and mild tonight. For the southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy to cloudy with a few scattered showers near the trough. Mostly sunny and warm today, turning fair and warm tonight elsewhere. Temperatures getting up to around 82 Fahrenheit, 28 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 61 Fahrenheit, 16 Celsius. In your extended outlook as we head to the weekend, we've got high pressure that will dominate the conditions over the country, except for the weak troughs triggering some shower activity at times. So for Saturday, tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny and warm with a few scattered showers near the troughs, fair and warm at night. Sunday, partly scattered showers and possible isolated thunderstorms. That's your Morning Blend Weather Check. Weather Check brought to you by John Bull. 'Tis the season to shop John Bull. Every $50 spent gives you the chance to be one of 24 winners of a $500 gift card. Daily gift card winners will then vie for the grand prize of a $5,000 gift card. See in-store for details. The joy of John Bull.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. You want.
With BTC Business's new smart solutions powered by super-fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
You've tried everything. ASUS with your mother's cousin's sister's auntie, and even hiding your money under your mattress. But is your money safe? Your Bahamian dollar deposit in a member bank or credit union is insured up to $50,000. If anything happens, your deposit up to the insured value will be returned to you thanks to Deposit Insurance. Visit Deposit Insurance Corporation at www.dic.bs.
Protection for your money guaranteed with DIC.
The Bahamas welcomes its newest and best savings store. It's discounts go on cleaning products to discounted disposable products to discounted health, personal, and skincare products. For those new mothers, we have specially discounted baby accessories. And finally, just in time for Christmas, discounted toys and novelty items. Conveniently located on Mackey Street opposite Carey's Fabric Store. Come see us at Discounts Galore, your savings store.
When engaging in physical activity, it is normal for the body to get tired and fatigued. In the same way, COVID-19 has brought on fatigue, but we must not give up the fight. Wear your mask over your mouth and nose, stay at least 3 feet apart from others, wash and sanitize your hands often, and avoid touching your face. Together, we will win.
This message is brought to you by the PAHO WHO Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Country Office, the Ministry of Health, and the Healthy Bahamas Coalition.
Unlock the value of your home with an RBC home equity loan and do more for the holidays, like home improvements, investments, and build back your savings. When you switch your mortgage to RBC, experience the difference with no management fees, cash back on closing costs, and guidance from our mobile mortgage finance specialists. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean/equity loan and experience holiday joy with RBC. Offer extended to December 31st. Conditions apply.
Technology makes every day in life just a little bit easier. Whether it's for joy, productivity, or creativity, Custom Computers has all the latest gadgets to conquer any obstacle. Imagine automating mundane tasks with tech and living a freer, richer lifestyle, all while staying on top of your goals. The path to free. Discover tomorrow's technology today at Custom Computers on Patton Street, Cable Beach, and Caves Village through the Blake Road entrance.
It's a different kind of Christmas, but everything is here.
Yes, everything is here at Shop Smart Department Stores. 2 locations just for you. One on Mackey Street next to RBC and in the Prince Charles Shopping Plaza. Come on down. Everything is here. At Shop Smart. At Shop Smart. At Shop Smart. Oh, everything is here.
Colombian Emeralds International is at it again with their super sale of the year. 50% plus 20% from December 1st through December 25th. And as a token of appreciation, with any purchase over $500, you will receive a fabulous gift while supplies last. Visit any of our locations, Rawson Square, Paradise Island, and in Freeport, Port Lucaya Marketplace. Some restrictions apply. Sales on selected items.
Open up, this at the time of the year. BDC spreading Christmas cheer. To everybody whether far or near.
Move to the rhythm of Christmas round here. Get your chance to win $1,000 each week when you sign up for BTC Internet. Enjoy 150 megabits of speed per second and 157 channels for only $99.99.
Move to the rhythm of Christmas. Move to the rhythm of BTC.
Visit btcbahamas.com. Conditions apply.
And we're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna on this Friday morning. All right, so earlier
Why are we going all the way back just now? What was that song about?
Hey, Damien sort of.
Is it his birthday or something? What's happening?
No, just playing like Nehemiah. I mean, like the music. No reason.
Just are you okay? Are you sick?
That's what we need to ask you. What's your issue? Do you have a problem with
No, I don't have an issue with it. I mean, I like
singing,
the song.
Stephen? Do you have a problem with that?
I like Damon singing covers of American songs as well. Okay. I don't have an issue with it. Right. I just, it sounded very much like a person on their last legs, sort of. Not the song, the way you're like, just wanted to remember the old days. Okay.
Well, actually, our wonderful producer, picked the song, so maybe it's our producer.
Who's on the board today?
But we're all feeling good, aren't we? Yes. So that's not it. But let's move on. We got serious things.
They might need a hug. Okay. That's a depressing.
Well, everybody.
The first time I heard that song as a child in primary school, and it was already like 80 years old at that point. It was like, wow, this song feels, and I didn't know the word yet, melancholy.
Wow. Okay. So you've got issues. Well, you can bring that up when you have your next therapy session. Bring that up with the doc.
Listen, I'm just saying, I just want to make sure that everybody there is okay.
Yeah.
You got to look out for your mental health. I know that you corporate overlords don't like to care about your employees and make sure they're okay. But, check in on the person on the board. Make sure.
Okay. The producer is good. We're all good. We're all everybody's good. Okay.
Did you shake your fist at them menacingly?
He's smiling and he's been anyway.
You
Can we move
smile,
on? Please,
don't
sir?
you?
Let's
have you been talking?
Okay.
Go ahead.
So we were talking earlier about the Bahamas and what health officials here are saying about stepping up testing, but the U.S. is really going all out on this now. They are starting. It seems next week going to be having some tighter restrictions for entry, and this could be a major problem for travelers, even from the Bahamas, right? So on Thursday, the Biden administration said that all.
Even?
Yeah, people think we're so close, it won't be like that previous caller. It's so simple and easy. Sure. On Thursday, the Biden administration said that all travelers aged 2 and over flying to the U.S. would need to show proof of a negative COVID-19 test taken within a day before their flight.
All this means is that at LPIA, they need to set up a testing station in the building, because if I'm traveling on the weekend, some of these places are not open. Or you need to, right by the roundabout, you can start seeing a bunch of people doing COVID tests out on the roundabout, right by Charlotte, on the way to the airport.
Yeah. And those places are going to have to be open. They're going to have to be open, right? To be open late, and some are going to have to be open very early. People have 6, 7 o'clock flights, and so...
I mean, the places don't have to be, but it would be helpful and it would be profitable.
Yes. So, according to Forbes, unlike this is the publication, unlike the previous requirements, which allowed for a longer timetable for vaccinated travelers, this new requirement will treat all passengers the same, regardless of vaccination status. As is currently the case, either a PCR or antigen test will be accepted as proof of being negative for COVID-19. The test requirements include taking it within 1 calendar day and is not limited to within 24 hours of your departure. This means that passengers will be able to take their test at any time during the day before their flight, no matter what time their flight departs. All right, so as long as it's the day before. So if you took it at 8 a.m., but your flight is 8 p.m. the next day, that should be fine. All right.
Nope.
So, what do you make of that? Does that change anything?
It's their country; they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, but will that impact how you're able to do things a day ahead as opposed to 3? That seemingly, for some people, presented some challenges. Will a day make a difference, or is it easier? Is that easy? You definitely can't forget now. Right, unless it's an emergency flight, unless you and as Stephen says, will that mean that this is an opportunity now for for businesses to take advantage of this situation, setting up more sites and closer to the airport.
Well, they will.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's get your views on that. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. Already getting some reaction to this. Oh boy. Okay. Also, the reduction of testing completely ignores the reality of global travel. How is someone who is traveling from, say, Asia to the West supposed to have a test with a 24-hour validity when travel itself can take over 30-plus hours? Make it make sense. Oh, that's a very interesting question there. Will it?
I think it's from the point of leaving, not like you, because I know you're counting in all the numbers, but I think those restrictions are like from the point of you leaving the place where you're at, where you might pick up the disease. It has to be within a day of that, not arrival.
What if you land and you have
from the point of where you started
layover or something?
Well, I mean, if your layover is a day, then you have to get another one.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume, because now that's like taking two players. I mean, like if your layover is an hour, I don't think that would be reasonable to expect somebody to have. But once again, you know what? Call the airlines. Why am I answering these questions? Call the airlines.
It's an interesting question, though. I mean, if your flight is, you got a couple layovers, what does that make a difference? Yeah. Now, when does this start? It begins next week. That's all that we know. Next week, whether that's Monday, I don't know. But that's what's happening. All right. So let's get some of your reaction to this. Again, 323-6232, 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right. What if a new variant comes out of the Bahamas? Are we willing to put our tourism industry at risk? Essentially, it's reasonable to assume that all
tell you a secret.
Vaccine.
A new variant will never come out of the Bahamas because we are not testing rapidly enough. And we are not sending them off rapidly enough to detect a new variant. We are not going to be. We could have had it could have come from us. Omicron, Omnicorp, whatever you want to call it, it could have come from us. We ain't gonna know until 6 months after somebody catch it somewhere else. Why? Because we don't have. It's not that we don't have the capacity. We don't have the desire to know.
Well,
we're not doing testing at any rate quickly enough to detect before somebody else detected elsewhere in the world. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to worry your darling heart about that. We will never, ever, 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 ever be the source of anything.
This is what the South Africans were saying as well. That it's only because of the procedures they have there, the testing,
and that is the consequence
research
of being a good person in the world. Yeah. When you're good, you're the one who goes to jail.
China was claiming things like that as well. That we noticed it, but it doesn't mean that it was the first. That we're the first. And as we keep saying, Bahamians were saying from 2 months before this went crazy in Wuhan that there was some crazy flu out here, right? And that was
only y'all
October,
who was
November.
traveling. I didn't experience anything, but it was a nice,
people
calm, non-sick year for me.
People were saying they had a tooth and that they were getting pneumonia and strange things were happening to them. So who knows where this thing originated from. All right. So this texter here says the U.S. only requires an antigen test. Most of us were getting it a day ahead anyway. Really? Doesn't take long to get results. Businesses may need to just be open on Sundays as well. All right. So no big deal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that, because the thing is, a lot of persons, because you're traveling on the weekend or something, a Sunday opening is going to still yield a profit for somebody. And somebody is going to forget that it's now a day because they keep changing the rules. So somebody will have a test done on Friday trying to be, on top of their game, they reach the airport, and the airport is like, oh no, you have to have it within a day. This is too old. And so you got to pick up a lot of those guys.
Now, so some people are saying, though, they think that the rule is you're going to have to, if you are getting connecting flights, you're going to have to get that test. So
At the connecting area.
It'll be a day out. Yeah, it'll still be.
I don't know. I mean, once again, I feel like if your connecting flight is an hour, I don't know if that, once again, I guess call somebody who actually works in the industry. Don't listen to Steven.
All right,
Steven,
here's a
don't
text
travel over.
here. We can be honest, but we don't say. This unfair, corrupt procurement. Oh, this is back to the contracts. This unfair, corrupt procurement practice is just the way it is. No. What's the problem? Okay, which... Oh, my goodness gracious, back and forth. No. What's the problem? People who campaign want remuneration, make a budget that includes their salary. Everyone who walks in the sun gets paid when they walk in the sun. Before election, from transparent campaign funds, no expectation of future payment. Use the T-shirt and sign money. Less unqualified people stuffed into crevices everywhere.
What?
Sure. What? I'm not sure what you're saying. Wait, you want it?
No.
You're for it or you're gay? What's going? You're making a point, and it's probably a good point, but I'm not sure where you stand on the issue. Is it bad or is it good? Just okay. Wow. This one here. When is the start of the 1 day testing? Yeah, next week is all we're seeing so far. I'm gonna try to see if I can.
Well, when does next week start? Monday?
Well, some say Monday, some say Sunday.
Well, ain't nobody open on Sunday.
People open. All right. This one says here, back to the insurance.
Trying to sell this insurance thing to us.
The Omicron messaging is we don't know much about this variant, but we do know the answer is vaccination and boosters. Now we're going to do research to come to that conclusion. First, it is insurance for the unvaccinated, then it's insurance if you haven't taken the booster. Finally, everyone vaccinated or unvaccinated will need COVID insurance. Yeah, if we started, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. This one says here, the recent policies by the U.S. shines light on the fact that our preference for U.S. presidents ought to be policy-based and not emotionally based. Who will be the best for the Bahamas and our interests?
We don't vote
what does
for
it matter?
that president.
It doesn't matter at all.
You get what you get.
What does it matter?
Why, these people really need to stop
What are
watching
you gonna
television.
do? Tell all your cousins in the States not to vote for that one because it's going to be bad for me in the Bahamas? What? I don't understand.
No, but even that is like, bro, imagine if right before election, you got a call from a cousin that you hadn't heard from in years. And they're like, oh, yeah, you about to vote for the wrong person. You got to make sure you do the right thing, for intake. Bro, you get what you get. Wow. It's like you have to work with whoever is there. I don't understand. Do not, as a Bahamian citizen, get caught up in another country's politics.
And many people would hope that our leaders around here would institute some of these policies, really cracking down on the testing, people coming here with 5-day-old tests. Anyway, okay, let me continue to read your text. Who will be best for the Bahamas and our interests? These restrictive measures may never have occurred under a Republican administration. Is that right? Okay.
Stop watching American pundits and then ingesting it so deeply that you forget that you don't live in the country.
Okay,
you are not an expat living in the Bahamas. You are a Bahamian living in the Bahamas. What is happening in America is America's business.
This person says here, when Stephen says that the unvaccinated don't want to wear a mask now, not everybody, as we know.
I apologize.
I highly disagree because the unvaccinated, like me, should be wearing a mask more now than ever before. I actually think, Stephen, the psychos we see in other places who are fighting against masks are actually vaccinated. I think they're thinking, I got vaccinated. Why are you making me wear a mask?
Oh no, I definitely not here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, people just don't want to wear masks.
Some of the people who here and walking around with a mask covering barely their lips. All right, and it's like, what are you doing? Like at this point, it looks stupid.
On. I think it's something else.
They have not been vaccinated. They have not seen a doctor in years. Like,
wow.
And that's whatever. I'm not. Yes, there are some persons who are unvaccinated and they wear a mask and they social distance and they rub themselves down with alcohol and Vicks Vapor Rub every night. I'm certain of it. And they are not the loudest unvaccinated. The loudest unvaccinated people are the ones who are like, none of this is real. And then walking around with their nose out, the half their lip hanging out the bottom, in the food store, the security guard say, oh, you can cover your mouth. Why? This ain't right, I can't breathe. Okay. Then don't come inside.
Well, they go on to say, the people like me who are unvaccinated need to be wearing a mask now more than ever because the vaccinated are asymptomatic, so I make sure to stay with my mask on all the time.
That's very wise of you. Do that.
Asymptomatic, yeah. Is the policy of having to be jabbed to travel to America presently in place, or do you just need a negative test? Yeah, I believe that is what they did. Isn't that what they did?
What? No.
Everything changes every day. We're going to confirm that and get back right after the break for news. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Isn't that what they did? You have to be vaccinated?
You have the paper. Like, why are you asking me?
We're going to read, yeah. We got to remember all these rules for all these different places. It's really crazy now. But anyway, we'll be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. 8:25 the time now. Time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. We've got high pressure over the eastern Gulf of Mexico. That's going to build across the area as mid to low-level troughing will support pockets of showers across the country. Beachgoers should exercise caution due to moderate risk of rip currents along north and east coast beaches. For partly to mostly sunny and warm conditions with a few lingering showers near the troughs, turning fair to clear and mild tonight. For the southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy to cloudy with a few scattered showers near the troughs today through tonight, but mostly sunny and warm elsewhere, turning fair and warm tonight. Look for highs getting up to around 82 Fahrenheit, 28 Celsius today. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 61 Fahrenheit, 16 Celsius. In your extended outlook, high pressure will dominate the weather across the country except for the few weak troughs, triggering shower activity at times. So for tomorrow, Saturday, partly to mostly sunny and warm with a few scattered showers near the troughs, turning fair and warm at night. Sunday, partly cloudy to cloudy with a few scattered showers and possible isolated thunderstorms. That's your Morning Blend weather check. Brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. What's first for you comes first for us. And 8:27, time for another check of traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. A reminder about the work going on Claridge Road, that work milling and paving going on between 9:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. So the road closures implemented when necessary and where necessary, and all connecting roads along the length of Claridge Road will be closed at times as well. So if you can, you really want to avoid this area, but provisions will be made for residents to gain access when they need to. The other work spot, West Bay Street, this is taking place at nights between Marcus Bethel Way and Chippingham Road. And that's between 7 p.m. and 2:30 a.m. And work is progressing on that, and it's expected to last for 3 days, so it should be wrapping up soon, if not tonight. But avoid the area if you can, and expect some detours if you are out tonight in that part of New Providence. In your real-time traffic at this hour, we've got a number of hot spots. We've got Milo Butler Highway, some heavy traffic just north of Fire Trail, but we suspect there might be some traffic cops in the area because the traffic is backed up now on Tawny-Williams-Darling Highway, westbound to the roundabout with Milo Butler Highway. Gladstone Road looking busy northbound, just north of Fire Trail up to JFK Drive. Carmichael Road busy eastbound to Blue Hill Road, St. Vincent Road all the way up to Independence Drive, especially north of Soldier Road. Independence Drive looking very, very busy westbound, especially to the roundabout, and eastbound as well to the roundabout with East Street and East-West Highway. East Street between the intersection with Robinson Road and the intersection with Soldier Road, not looking pretty at all, especially northbound between Soldier and the roundabout. And further south, we've got Blue Hill, Zion Boulevard, and Cowpen Road. That intersection is looking messy for you this morning as well. Building traffic on Carmichael westbound to Coral Harbor Road. And in eastern New Providence, we've got heavy traffic on Eastern Road from just east of Fox Hill Road to about Johnson Road westbound there. Not going to be moving much for a while. And Bernard Road near the schools in the area, and the intersection with Village, Wolf, and Soldier. And then, of course, Prince Charles Drive at the major intersections, especially Fox Hill Road and Beatrice Avenue and Soldier and Robinson Road. So those are your hot spots this morning. Keep that in mind as you make your way about. And that's your real-time traffic and Morning Blend Traffic Alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Traveling around the world, infecting men, women, boy, and girl, causing folks to quarantine. I'm talking about COVID-19. Coronavirus, you're a pest. You've got this world in a mess. Like a lethal weapon in the dark, leaving death, destruction in your path.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll get some details about the Laws of Life essay competition. That's always a lot of fun. We'll get some information about this year's competition in just a bit. But we continue our discussion about what's in the news, getting a reaction to what's happening. We've talked a little bit about beaches and parks and the revelations there, but a lot about COVID and Omicron and how we should be dealing with it. We've got Dr. Nakia Forbes suggesting that we should reduce the window of COVID testing for travelers, just like the U.S. will do, effective Monday. We found out some more information. It is Monday. So, yeah. And, yes, so that's starting next week. And, yes, and definitely you have to be vaccinated. You have to be if you are not a U.S. citizen. If you're not a U.S. citizen, you don't have to be. But if you are, you have to be vaccinated to travel to the U.S. I know that was definitely a requirement for cruise ships, but for all entry. All right, so we're getting some interesting text messages here. Someone says, can you explain why the vaccinated are concerned about the unvaccinated? Isn't that like driving with your seatbelt and worried about people in other cars who are unrelated? Or should I say anti-belters?
It's like people not drinking and driving, worrying about people who are drinking and driving. It's closer to that than the other thing.
Yeah, that's a very good one.
Because even if you don't run into me while you're driving drunk, what if you run into somebody else?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or what if somebody in your car is minding their own business? They get in the car because you say, "No, man, I ain't that drunk," and then you kill yourself and them, or only they die, which usually happens. It happens a lot where the driver is safe, but the passenger dies.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, or you getting vaccinated, still going to the church,
or worse yet. I mean, because the people who get in the car know fully well that you are drunk, but somebody in their house sitting down, not drunk, watching television, and this drunk driver comes crashing through their wall and lands on top of them on their couch.
Not just through their regular wall, through the wall by the road, through the hedges, then
runs down everything.
Right, then into the house wall.
Killing the cat too, everything. Mm-hmm. So that's a great example, Stephen. Very good. And I hope you got it, Texter.
Thanks.
Hope you got that, Texter. So, yeah.
And you know what else? I'm allowed to be concerned about persons who don't seem concerned about their own well-being. Not just because they might hurt somebody innocent, but also their own life. In all honesty, the way economies work and the way countries work is that if there are no citizens, it doesn't work, right? Our entire productive value is based on the amount of citizens that we have that can do labor, that can produce something, right? If there are no citizens alive, or if there are less the things that we need to be done, we lessen the quality of life for everyone in the country. If it's only 10 people that know how to turn on the generator at BPL, which it might only be 5, if only 10 of them and 6 of them get sick, how often do you think the power is going to cut off? It's going to cut off more than it cuts off now. So it's like it affects us in that way. So even if I think that person is dumb, even if I say, why isn't this person doing that? They should be left to their own device. If I truly and honestly believe that this thing will help save them, and you know what? Outside of capitalism, everybody has the right to live. So even if that person never contributes anything to society, I should still want that person to live, even if I think that person is a full-blown idiot. I don't necessarily believe that they're a full-blown idiot, but I should still be fighting for them to live. And so I understand that you're questioning, why am I concerned about whatever they're doing, or perhaps in this case, what you're doing as an unvaccinated person if you're unvaccinated. I, as a human being, should be concerned about your health and your safety no matter what.
Yeah. All right, let's take this call and then get back to these text messages. Good morning, caller. You're on Morning Blend.
Hi, Stephen. How you doing?
Doing well. Good morning.
Morning.
Okay, and good morning to the nation. I was listening, and I joined in a little late, Dwight, but what prompted me to call was the piece you played on Fred Mitchell, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Public Service. I really appreciated him speaking out regarding his thoughts and his views on the policies that the Ministry of Health has implemented recently. I've been thinking about it over the past few days as well, but I chose not to speak on it, and so I'll just make a brief comment, Dwight. I believe that we must be very mindful and careful not to practice COVID-19 mutation, discrimination, or racism, which is the stronger term to use. Pardon me?
I said, wow.
Yeah, I believe that as a country, we must be very mindful of that. Also, on the flip side of this conversation, we must be mindful that we are a sovereign parliament and a sovereign nation. But if we are going to allow for other nations that we depend on to support us and sustain us, without to us so boldly and openly, our policies and the application of new policies relating to how we manage COVID-19, then it speaks a great deal to how we execute sovereignty in our country, and it demonstrates that there's a price on sovereignty, which I'm also very concerned with, right? And finally, can you hear me clearly, Dwight?
Yeah, we can.
And finally, I believe that if we are going to live with COVID-19, we must begin to take on the necessary action in every way considerable that advances the cause of living with COVID-19, and the action of shutting down our country to South African nations or any nation where a new variant has showed up makes, to my mind, humbly I submit, very little sense, because the factors that are going to protect our country and the factors that are going to allow for the survival of economics in our country and continued business across the continent in our country would be the mitigating factors that we implement at all of our borders, whether it be seaport or airports in our country, whether and also the enforcement of those mitigating factors, whether it be through the testing and in ensuring that the mask worn and the contact tracing, etc., the beefing up of the facilities of the medical facilities to be able to manage outbreaks, etc., and the beefing up of the staff resources needed to work those protocols.
Okay.
And so I believe that we have a lot of consideration that we need to seriously take note of, and not allow for the Davis administration to follow suit with what the Menace administration did, which made very little to no sense.
I might be having a false memory, but do I not recall you back in the bad days wanting us to shut down the borders to everybody?
You mean the before time?
Absolutely not, Dwight.
No?
Are you kidding? No way. I was on the completely opposite.
Well, you didn't want everything to be open.
This very end of the spectrum that I'm speaking to right now, Dwight, is where I was always. Because, as a matter of fact, I wrote several articles on my Facebook page where I would always discuss with you, where I was trying to give advice from my corner of the spectrum based on Dr. Sands, the then Minister of Health, requesting for the beam in public to give our input. And I always thought, I was leading that conversation, Dwight, that it made sense to try and protect the country from COVID-19 while starving Bahamians economically, killing Bahamian businesses, killing Bahamian employment, by extension causing Bahamians to lose their mortgages in droves, and that leading to a deeper recession where the Bahamas, if we're not careful, we're going to kill the livelihood of many, which we did. And many of those instances, Dwight, there were people who were, say, 50, 60, 70 years of age, that there was no coming back for them because the banks would not look at them favorably because they did not have the years left in their employment or the economic opportunities.
All right, we got to go. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, so I'll never do that again. All right, good morning, caller. You're on the air.
What, answer the call?
Ask him something I thought he said before. Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Dwight and Stephen.
Good morning.
You know, I wonder where the what you would call sovereign nation at. It couldn't be the Bahamas. Another point, Stephen.
Why did you ask that?
So why I ask that?
Yeah.
So people always get on the radio and talk about this as sovereign nation, but I don't see it as sovereign. Not when you're depending on just about everything that it takes for a person to live in this Bahamas.
Okay.
Stephen.
Yes, sir.
You talked about you was drawing illustration about you have a right for everybody to live, right? To see that something of that sort, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yeah, something along those lines.
yeah. Let me ask you something. What happens if somebody don't want you to live when they're trying to kill you?
What does that mean? Are you asking? Do I then want them dead?
Do you gonna lay down and let them kill you?
No, but I mean, defending yourself isn't the same thing as wanting them to die.
All right, here's this interesting text. Stephen's drunk driver point is moot.
How come the honest give? Did I'm confused?
But wait, listen to this. Listen to this. Stephen's drunk driver
I
point.
thought it was on for an hour.
Yeah, because as a jabbed person, he too can be the drunk driver who can kill others with his drunk COVID virus catching self.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear that, man. That's very
well, that's
strong
this,
words.
that. I guess in this example, maybe Stephen, this is why we say you got a social
also need to
distance,
wear a
right?
mask, right.
So that's the thing. So because there are risks,
Yeah, all of it.
everybody
all of it
has
is,
to be
is
very
drunk
careful,
driving.
right? So that's
So
why
it's-
knowing that there are drunk drivers who are vaccinated and not, you get what I'm saying. Everybody has to be careful. This
Right.
is not the time.
But all of it comes under this analogy would be drunk driving in a reckless manner that might endanger the lives of certain persons.
Yeah. And this one here says, Dwight, really? They killed the cat? Again, this vaccination thing is what they tell us to do. Our experiences say that this isn't polio. Natural immunity appears to work. If we could think, we
If
might.
you survive it.
Right. If we could
I
think,
that we
let me finish the text. Hold on.
underestimate.
If we could think, we might propose a targeted vaccination campaign, but apparently we can't think. Let's wait to see what they tell us to do. We did have, and we have done that, and you can't make the people take the vaccine. They were begging initially for anybody who was in a compromised immune state to come forward. If you were older, it was only available for those people at first.
But you know what, Dwight? That's really not surprising because there are tons of behemoths on high blood pressure medication, on diabetes medication, on medication for everything, and don't take their medicine for their known existing disease.
Very true.
All right, that would be now we term it as comorbidities. Right, you don't take your medication for that, and what we're saying is that significant portion of the population is at a higher risk. It would be great if we could all just go out and cough in each other's face and be done with this in 2 weeks. However, there's a significant portion of the population that is going to hurt significantly.
All right, we got to go to the break. Coming back?
Nope.
Okay. Well, we'll talk with you next
That's
week.
how stepping out works.
Enjoy your...
Have you never been married?
Oh, dear. Enjoy your weekend. I'll talk to you soon. When we come back, we're talking about Laws of Life, the essay competition. No one missed that. And we've got another drawing of the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle. And later, Junkanoo, what's going to happen? We'll find out. Stay with us. A lot more Morning Blend.
Right. COVID-19, COVID-19. Oh, such a killing machine.
Physical distancing isn't the same as being socially distant. I know that sometimes it can be a bit difficult not being able to engage in the in-person social activities that we did before, whether that be going to the movies or just hanging out in person. But remember that different does not mean distant. As the generation of technology, we can get creative in planning virtual parties with friends and family, play online games with friends, plan virtual family parties, start a cooking competition among cousins, or do a virtual dance party. If you do gather in person, however, remember to avoid gathering in large groups. Always ensure that you wear your mask to cover your mouth and nose. And remember, wash and sanitize.
This message is brought to you by the PAHO WHO Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Country Office, the Ministry of Health, and the Healthy Bahamas Coalition.
We are working to protect our country, our people, and our livelihoods so that we can move forward. The vaccine is safe. The vaccine is easy. The vaccine is essential for our recovery. If we want to rebuild our economy, if we want to get back to our jobs, if we want to get back to our lives, our families. We must do this together.
What does Christmas mean to you? What about making a loved one's face smile bright or driving your own car? CIBC First Caribbean gives you up to 100% financing on auto loans. Apply online and let our auto financing take you places this Christmas. Visit CIBCFCIB.com for more information. Terms and conditions apply.
It's a different kind of Christmas, but everything is here. Yes, everything is here at Shop Smart Department Stores. 2 locations just for you. One on Mackey Street next to RBC and in the Prince Charles Shopping Plaza. Come on down. Everything is here at Shop Smart. At Shop Smart. At Shop Smart. Oh, everything is here.
Open up this at the time of the year. BDC spreading Christmas cheer. To everybody whether far or near.
Move to the rhythm of Christmas round here.
Open up.
Switch to BTC for huge smartphone savings to celebrate the magic of Christmas. Get the iPhone 12 mini for just $199.99 plus a Christmas gift when you sign up for a postpaid plan. Get the new Alcatel A1V for just $19 or the Samsung A02 for just $39, that included. Plus a free 7-day prepaid combo and SIM card. Get yours today.
This Christmas make it BTC. It's the better choice for you and me. Move to the rhythm of Christmas. Move to the rhythm of BTC.
Conditions apply.
Take that mess from off the wall. Give that baby back its ball. Leave other people things alone. There's other ways to get involved. Get involved, don't be no fool. Stay in school. Become a tool. Church were made for fools to be. Locked away from society. Society. Get involved, get involved.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong with you on this Friday morning. And the annual Laws of Life essay competition is back and here to tell us about this, what we can expect this year. I'm very pleased to welcome to the show Charmaine Miller, Liesl Wright, and Ramona Wells. Some of you have been here before. Welcome back to the show. Great to talk with you. How are you?
Great, Dwight. We're glad to be back.
Wonderful stuff.
Good morning. Glad to be back.
All right. So just for those who might not be familiar, tell us about the Bahamas Laws of Life and video. Let's not forget the video competition. Tell us what it's all about and how this got started.
Okay, Dwight. So I'm Liesl Wright representing the Department of Education. Today we have our committee members, Dr. Charmaine Miller and Mrs. Ramona Wells. And listening in via radio, we have Dr. Tracy Farquharson of the committee as well. The Laws of Life competition resurged in 2009, having been in the Bahamas since the 1990s. It started off as an essay competition, but evolved into encompass video as well. So students are required to use a law taken from Sir John Templeton's book, Laws of Life, either in an essay or in a video, and they're asked to tell us what they think the law is about, what it means to them, and provide living examples of persons who display this law. And we have grown into the largest competition of this kind in the Bahamas, encompassing every island in the Bahamas and every type of school. We go from grade 5 straight through college level.
Wow.
And of course, you have to be enrolled in a school in the Bahamas, including a college, and up to age 25. For the video, it's open to 10 through 12th graders. So this year, our competition is focusing on the theme of positivity. You know, we've been through quite a lot in the last 2 years, and we focused on Dorian in 2020, and in 2021, we focused on COVID-19, not asking students to write about it, but letting it somehow permeate the essay or video. So this year, we're looking to have a positive outlook because Sir John believed that one thing is more powerful than learning from experience, and that is not learning from experience. Wow. So we want students to portray that they can use experiences, whether good or bad, to positively influence the path they choose in life.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm questioning whether we ought to be positive around here, but this is going to be a great way to pull that out. And looking forward to it. Now, we know we had some of the students on earlier this year, the ones who won from last year's competition, and we were very impressed with what we heard. So we're looking for that same creativity this year. And you talked about that there are prizes to be won. Tell us some more about that specifically.
Okay, so I'm going to yield to one of the committee members to talk about some of the prizes.
Mm-hmm.
So our prizes, good morning, Dwight. This is Ramona Wells.
Hi, Ramona.
And our prizes can be found on our website, actually. I wanted to make sure students know that our website was launched on November 29th, and that is bahamaslawsoflife.org. And so if they go to that website, they will see all of the areas. So we have our different primary division, junior division, the senior division, the college division, and like Liesl said, we also have the video division. And each of those divisions, you will see the topics. And I know students are very excited, but the majority of the prizes are cash prizes. And it's not just for the student, there are also prizes for the teachers as well as the schools of those winning essays. And so I would encourage persons, if you really want to know what those prizes are, to check out our website. It's open. It's ready to go, and you can even submit your essay today. You're ready.
Wow. Okay.
So I think it's an awesome opportunity again. And like Liesl did say, we've had a rough 2 years probably coming out of Dorian, coming through this pandemic time. And so now we're talking about what opportunities did we see in this tragedy or in these different trying circumstances. And so, again, I would encourage our students to check out bahamaslawsoflife.org, get on there today and secure their space and start to just register.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. So you said if you're ready, if you're that good, you could post your essay today, but the deadline is a little bit later. The deadline is a little bit later. Tell us about that and how that works.
Charmaine?
Yay. Awesome. Hey, Dwight, again, this is Charmaine Miller, one of the committee members. And they can jump in today, like Ramona said, but they do have until February the 11th of next year to submit their essays. And the good thing about it is it's an online submission, so no one has to worry about scurrying about trying to drop off something here or whatever. It can be done online. It's very seamless. It's very easy to do. And they can start working on their draft, save it if they want to, come back to it later, and it'll still be there. And when they press submit, then they'll receive it and they'll get a confirmation. But we've made it so much easier now to get everybody across the length and breadth of the Bahamas to be a part of this competition. And that's one of the things a lot of people are really boasting about. It's not a competition that is just for a certain group. It's for every student enrolled in the school here. So, and even the homeschool students, let me add that in there. We're looking for persons who want to make sure that they put their ideas across because they have something to say. And I think if we listen to the youth, we'll find a lot of wisdom there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let me ask you, has it been more challenging as a result of the pandemic? So many people in and out of schools, not necessarily every day. Has that been making a difference or has it not?
Well, last year we found, like we said, we're the largest competition of this kind, and we have hit the 3,000 record a few years ago. Now, we knew that we would have had a bit of a depletion last year because we moved to an online submission, and we know of the challenges with some persons with internet, or some persons are just a little afraid of something electronic. So while our numbers did not decrease tremendously, we did see that some schools were not in session at the time of the competition, and they did make that notification to us that they didn't have control of their students. But as we've gone on for the rest of the year last year and moving into this year, people have gotten more accustomed to the online platforms, et cetera. So we believe that we'll hit those numbers unbelievably. was an increase in our Family Island entrance.
Wow.
So we believe that our online platform definitely benefited our Family Island entrants, who previously would have had to put them on the mail boat, or we would have had to go on to the airline to pick them up, or someone in Nassau had to bring them to us. So now we've eliminated that, and everyone can just go online, as Charmaine said, and it is seamless. You create a profile, you create an account just like you would do for any of the other platforms that you may use. And you have the ability to write your essay there or copy and paste it and send it to us.
Yeah. So how are people doing this? They've been doing it through the schools or just on their own?
So what we want to encourage is you can do it through your school or you can enter individually. That's up to you. So some schools like to take control, sometimes we're all educators here. So sometimes they say we like to control and we like to see what our students are doing, but we're also encouraging parents, we're encouraging students that it is open wherever you are. You can go on right now, look at the topics, look at the prizes, look at the requirements, and you can get started. So it's no stipulation that your school can say, oh, you can't enter. Yeah. Because, sometimes the teacher may mark an essay. We know it's all subjective, but you may think the essay is not needed and feel like, wow, this is the best one. So we encourage all students of all stratas to enter the competition.
Yeah, wow. And Ramona, you mentioned about teachers and prizes. Tell us a little bit more about that, how that works, and what a teacher would have to do.
Okay, so I am on the website now looking at it, and we do have a section under our prizes for schools and teachers. And so it says here, in recognition of the vital role teachers play, you have here in each division $1,000 to each school division winner to be used by their language arts department. We have a floating trophy. And then if you talk about our memorial trophy to the public and private schools, there's a $500 cash prize there for the highest number of finalists in each division. So if a teacher from a school entered all of her students, let's say it's 30 students, and those, let's say 25 out of the 30 make it into the finals, and that's the highest number, there's a $500 prize for that. So just allowing your students the opportunity to write, to be a part, and like Lisa also mentioned, it's not the best essay that you're looking at all these different things. Allow them to tell their story. And that's, I think, what for the most part, we'll speak to our judges. Tell your story. Let us know how you've been doing. What does the law say to you, and how does it apply to your life?
All right. Wow. All right. So the deadline's in February, but when will we know who's won, who the winners are? When's that going to happen?
Okay, that Dwight is a pro on as soon as the deadline starts and everything is submitted. But normally we would have a very grand affair in the end of May and June. We always make sure we keep our ear to the ground to find out what's happening in the school, so that the time that we do it, it complements with what's going on. But typically you're looking at the beginning of June, end of May, where we have our gala event. The past few years we've had, because of COVID, it being an online event, but it was really, really well attended and well received. So a lot of persons look forward to that. We're looking at perhaps getting back to our face-to-face event. We'll see how that works out, because of course we do have our eats and treats. We Bahamians, we love our food. Hello.
Indeed.
So it's been good, and the camaraderie and everything, it's really good. But I just want to add there, you mentioned about, I think Liesl talked about, teachers want to have control. And Ramona mentioned the prizes just now. Now you see why teachers want to have control, because we do incentivize the teachers as well to push their students. But don't worry, teachers, if your students take the initiative and they go on the site and they do it, perhaps on their own, just know that there is a portion there where they will still submit the names of their school when they're putting in the name of their teacher. So that the recognition is still going there for the work that they are doing for them.
Okay. All right. Wonderful stuff. And as we did last year or earlier this year, we'd love to have the winners on. So putting that out there now when they are announced. And we're looking forward to that. All right. So one more time, tell us what students need to be doing right now as this is open, and they've got just a couple of months to get these essays in.
Okay, so right now you can visit the site, as Ramona mentioned, BahamasLawsOfLife.org, And all of the requirements are there for you, all of the instructions as to how you can submit your essay. So right now, we know that the Christmas season is approaching and nobody may feel like writing. They may not feel like writing right now, but you can go and you can look at the topic and start to get your research together. And then you have until February 11th to submit your essay. So right now, we're encouraging you to travel to that website, start looking at it, follow us on our Facebook page. Everything is Bahamas Laws of Life, and also Instagram. And we just want to throw out there that we launched on Monday, November 29th, significant date for us because that's the anniversary birthday of our founder, Sir John Templeton, who was a philanthropist and longtime resident of Life at Key. He would have been 109 years old. So we just wanted to throw that out there, and we appreciate the Templeton World Charity Foundation, headed by its president, Dr. Andrew Sarrazin, for everything that they've done for this competition. Money, but just the interest in our youth and encouraging them to espouse themselves and tell us how they feel about laws. You know, we need to hear from our young people, as Charmaine said. We can gain lots of wisdom from them.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you so much, ladies. Liesl Wright, Dr. Charmaine Miller, and Ramona Wells. This is an exciting initiative every year, and we look forward to hear what our young people have to say. Thank you so much. Hope everybody takes part in this.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for having us. Have a good day.
You too. We're going to take a break and be back with more, a lot more, as we said, the COVID vaccination raffle drawing. And we're talking about Junkanoo. What can we expect this season? Definitely don't want to miss that coming up in Morning Blend Business. We'll be back after the news.
Don't be no fool, stay in school. Let your mind become a tool. Chairs were made for fools to be. Locked away from society. Get involved, get involved.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Friday, December 3rd, 2021. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. This morning, we are seeking answers to the questions so many people have on their minds right now. What's happening this Junkanoo season? What are we going to do? Are we going to do something virtual only, or can we do something in person? We're seeking the answers. We've got JCNP Chairman Dion Miller with us, and from the Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Culture, Junkanoo Coordinator Ellery DeVoe. Great to have you both with us this morning. Welcome to Morning Blend Business. Are we muted? Oh, did we get disconnected? Okay, we're going to sort that out there. But that is what we're going to talk about this morning. I know a lot of people have been saying, well, we'll look around, look what's happening here. We've got many events that are back on track. There have been lots of people. The rules are telling you how you can do an indoor event and do an outdoor event. Why shouldn't that be able to apply to Junkanoo? People pointing to what's happening in the U.S. Football stadiums are packed, and at the World Series baseball, and people are doing things outside, outdoors. Why not Junkanoo? of course, I'm sure the Junkaners are going to say, well, we do in any numbers that would make it make sense. So what really is happening? Okay, I think we've got Dion Miller and Ellery DeVoe with us now. Good morning. Great to have you with us. Hi. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Good morning.
Yes, we can hear you now. Great to have you with us. And so it's December 3rd, and we know that is very close, Boxing Day, just a few weeks away. And the last time we spoke to you, Dion, you were saying that virtual might be the way that we go again. But since then, so many things have happened. So many activities are taking place and outdoors. People are asking, why not Junkanoo? Where do things stand at this point?
Well, good morning, Bombers, again. Today, December 3rd, would have been a very nervous time in the life of Junkanoo. Tomorrow would have been Nervous Saturday, would be called Nervous Saturday in Junkanoo, where we go to fish fry and we pick the order entry for the parades, and groups get to, for the first time publicly, state their presentations for upcoming parades. So once again, that will not take place this year due to the COVID pandemic. The JCNP with our corporate partners, we looked at a number of options, but what it came down to was the finances was just not right for all involved to have a traditional Junkanoo parade as in past years. Nevertheless, the show must go on. This year, as opposed to last year, all of the Junkanoo groups will come together to produce a high definition, high quality virtual Junkanoo presentation.
Okay, so that is happening. Okay, so tell us, before we get to that, a little bit more about what you just said about the finances, and people were saying, well, what if we did it scrap-like? So much costumes, just people out there with the bells and the drums and the whistles, more like the way it used to be, and we just have something like that. Could that not have worked?
That's in theory, Dwight. That's very easy to say. Let's just show up and in shirts and pants and does it, but it's still a cost attached to such a venture. And we've explored that venture as well. But at the end of the day, you would need to have a large enough area to have a parade. You would need to restrict public access, which will incur costs such as fencing, gating. Then we're looking at which is the police force, which is a huge bill as well. And I think the government, as well as corporate farmers, was just not in the position to take on such a hefty bill at this time. So we have put forward a number of measures, and at the end of the day, everything just came down to cost.
Mm-hmm. So what does that say about the future? Will this bill, that's going to be there, those requirements are going to be there. Are the funds going to be there in the future for this? Will Junkanoo end up being too expensive to host downtown? Will it have to be something where you can control access in a more in an easier way?
We have the model in place with all those procedures to alleviate against COVID. I'm very hopeful that next year the annual budget that's allocated for Junkanoo will not be touched this year, as it's been publicly stated. The funds and the budget for Junkanoo was cut again this year, and funds went to assist other government priorities. So we are hopeful that in the upcoming fiscal year, that those funds would remain available to Junkanoo. Dwight made available the JCNP with our partners. We already have plans in place for a COVID environment Junkanoo. For example, up some 12,000 persons through bleacher seats are allowed to sit on Bay Street. We are willing to reduce that by half to ensure that persons on the bleachers are properly 3 to 6 feet socially distanced. We'll mandate that the crowd who attend Junkanoo produce a negative COVID test There will be an environment where you'll have to wear masks. And so we have those protocols and stuff in place and ready to rock and roll. And so hopefully the funding will be there for us to execute.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot. What about for people participating in the parades? Will they have to have tests? Will they have to be vaccinated? What are you thinking now?
Yeah, absolutely. So, in this environment, today's environment, we continue to ask our junkanus and the public at large to do your part in this fight to get vaccinated to assist in this fight. Going forward, everyone who wants to attend or participate in Junkanu will have to produce at least a minimum a negative COVID rapid test, right? So it's sort of the new reality that we're in. But for the most part, in terms of Junkanu and the parades, the health officials stated that they do much with the participants because Junkanu is a flow-in parade. So you have persons moving, dancing, moving through the parade. I think for the participants, where we will have to ensure safety is on the rest points. Through George Street, through Parliament Street, where they rest, make sure that they're not congregating together, that they're practicing social distancing, but for the most part, actually parading itself. You're already in a natural kind of social distance, I'd say, stance. And so the primary danger or primary issue would be ensuring that the safety of the public that are viewing the parades in person.
Okay. So again, no vaccination requirement, but negative tests.
Absolutely.
Forward. Right. All right. And what about the timeline? How long would that test? What's the window there?
Yeah, so going forward, it'll have to be as the industry standard mandates now, 3 to 5 days prior to the event.
Okay. So when I know the last time we spoke, you talked about perhaps not Boxing Day or New Year's, but maybe next year earlier, an earlier parade to make up for what we've lost. Is that still on the table, or will we have to wait another year before we get back to Bay?
No, we still have plans at JCMP level to do something spectacular for the women. Right now, we have the summer festival that we're highlighting. We've begun those discussions with the Ministry of Tourism and that team. We'd like to have a special parade for the summertime to kick things back off in regards to Junkanu. But before I speak to 2022, we're still in 2021. This virtual event is going to be exciting. This would have been, Dwight, the first time in going on 2 years that our Junkanus will, in an organized fashion, will be allowed to make small costumes and to do a live rush. Now, this rush won't be open to the public, and every group would be recorded at a designated venue that I won't publicly state on radio. But beginning next week, the groups will be recorded live in session, putting on a fresh, brand new performance. And like I said, a film to be produced by director, producer Chance Collymore, who is a Junkanu himself. And it's something that we're excited about. I know it's all the buzz in the Junkanu world now that we could actually come together in a safe, secure manner to do a Junkanu rush. The only downfall or negative aspect of it is, of course, it can't be for the public.
Right. Okay, so let's talk about it. Tell us how this is going to work. What are we looking at in costume? How many people? What do you know so far?
And so it will be, Dwight Ellery, the senior coordinator of Junkanu from Ministry, just messaged me. He is on as well.
Yes. Yes.
He needs to be led in the room. Sorry.
Okay.
So it will be in costume. Groups are currently now making their final preparations. It will not be the full group. So the average, for example, category A group, for example, the Saxons, one family, they have anywhere between 250 to 400 members. For this project, those large groups will only be reserved or limited to about 65 members. The smaller B groups will be allowed to have about 35 members participate in this event. So it'll be costume. It'll be similar to what you see on Bay Street. The only thing is that it will be a live, fresh recording. And like I said, recording film start as early as next week. Groups are excited. As I stated, this will be the first time in about 2 years that they can do some sort of organized Junkanoo. It's just a shame and just sad that we.
And where are you expecting it to be recorded? The groups are doing different places, or
so the groups are aware of that venue. I won't want to say state publicly where the venue is because we still want to observe the COVID protocols and the agreement that we have in place with the government, and that says that the public can't unfortunately attend. And so I won't want to say where those performances will be taking place, but beginning as early as next week, straight until December 16th, groups will be at their designated spot and time and day, and they will be recorded live doing their performances for this year's celebration.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So is this going to be a competition or just for the love of Junkanoo?
Yeah, well, Dwight, everything in Junkanoo is a competition. So I'm sure there'll be social media competitions, but it won't be an official competition per se. This is more about the spirit of Junkanoo. Over the past going on 2 years, we have lost a lot of persons in our community to COVID and other illnesses, and we have not been able to celebrate them. So when we, along with the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, began the planning of this project, one of the I guess, refreshing things is the Junkanoo leaders, they came together and they say, you know what, we have been competing for 50 years. Going at each other. This one is just for the spirit and for us as a people to do what we love to do. So this will be for the spirit of Junkanoo this next year in 2022.
Yeah. So has every group signed on? Everybody is expected to be a part of this?
Yeah, so we have all of the major groups. We have all 7 of the traditional Category A groups, as well as 7 of the smaller groups. The smaller Category B groups will be participating, so a total of 14 groups. So we have about 10 groups that won't be participating, and that is because of budgetary constraints, as I stated earlier. But we have all of the premier major groups will be participating. So you have the still defending champion, the Shell Sox and Superstars, One Family, the Valley Boys, Genesis, Roots, Prodigal Sons, the Music Makers, Colors Entertainment, the Foxhill Congos, all of those groups and marquee groups will be performing. It's exciting. I love the trash talking has already begun.
Wow.
And it's good in a sense, right, to get back to doing some sense of normalcy. But like I said, it won't be back until we're back on Bay Street doing what we love to do.
Yeah. I hope we have Ellery DeVoe
Yes.
on. Okay, Ellery, great to have you with us. Jump in anytime. All right, so give us I'm trying to get a sense of how this is going to work. How long will the groups have? And everybody's going to have the same amount of time for the completed production, and then how long do you expect the whole thing to be?
What me and Dwight, good morning, Bombers. What me and Dwight, Dion, sorry, we planned is that we would go either from 30 to an hour long per group. So it would be different groups on different particular days that we will be having the showing. So we have times allotted for them so we could be on the right schedule for Boxing Day and New Year's Day showing.
Okay, all right. So this will be like watching the live Junkanoo because it's going to be on for quite a few hours then.
Right. It's going to be basically the same thing, but it's just a different venue. And we ask all the groups to put their best foot forward and let's move ahead because, this is the time where, Junkanoo, people love Junkanoo. I'm a Junkanoo as well, so I know the sentiments of the fans and the general public. So we want to give them the best showing, just to feel like they had some sort of form of Junkanoo this year. So, but like what Dion said earlier, we'll get back to some type of normalcy next year. And I'm speaking positively on it because, the country's already opened up. So, and I think persons just miss Junkanoo.
Yeah. Okay, so when would this air? This Christmas Day falls on a Saturday. This is going to be Monday morning. Is it? What are we looking at here? The 27th? Or
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So we want to stick to as close here to the tradition of Junkanoo as possible. And so on Boxing Day, the 26th, that evening after you eat all your ham and your turkey and the macaroni and everything, that evening you can gather in front of your televisions and enjoy the film on Christmas night, Boxing Day.
Oh, okay.
As well as again on New Year's Day morning.
All right, so it'll be the same thing on New Year's. Okay, so it'll be that Saturday night. So what time will it start on Christmas night? Heading into
those details, so we're still in talks right now with ZNS on the scheduling and the timing, and so we don't have those details yet. Another day or two, we'll be blasting out all of those relevant emails, information to the public, so they can plan their holiday affairs and tune into the Junkanoo. But it's going to be hot, right? It's going to be exciting. As I stated, the trash talking is already started. These guys are just excited to be able to do what they love to do, albeit small form. But even though we can't do it in front of the public and in front of fans, they still have pride and they want to put their best foot forward. And so we're anticipating a hot show and excellent and stellar performances from all of our groups.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I'm going to hear more about this and what the future looks like, and get some of our listeners to chime in on this, on their views on this, and how this is going. Already getting some text messages. We'll get to all of that. We're talking with Ellery DeVoe and Dion Miller about Junkanoo. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
This traffic report is brought to you by Shield Insurance and Prudential Loss Adjusters.
Final look at traffic this morning, and some things have improved over the last hour, and some things have gotten a little bit worse. You still have a lengthy traffic line trying to get up there on Gladstone Road, so you're on JFK. However, some out about the highway looking pretty good this morning. Traffic really clearing on that thoroughfare this morning, and they're actually really getting out there, so it's a minor flow of traffic along Samalapala Highway getting out there on the Tony William Dolly. Also a good look for Carmichael Road. Traffic line there, but it's moving. They're getting out of there on the Blue Hill Road. The actual only slow up at this point is for the traffic that's getting over the hill into the Tony William Dolly roundabout below. That wait line there is short. We know that their competition for getting through the roundabout there at Tony William Dolly is the west lane on Independence Drive. Given time, all that will get up there. Once you get past Robinson Road, the ride into the city is still a good one. Hardly any hiccups along the way. What we're concerned about is the rest of the island that seemed to have a slow growth this morning, but now in the last 30 minutes it's all been back up to speed. So we see familiar traffic delays going along Marathon Road into Wolf Road. The Soldier Road traffic going into the Wolf Road intersection is bungling there, along with the traffic coming off of Burnett Road, and the traffic congestion on Eastern Road in full effect. It's a slow ride getting out to Shirley Street over there. West Bay Street has slowed down now for those coming into the city. It's a Friday, and we do expect it to get a whole lot heftier all day today, so we'll be watching for that later on. This National Traffic Report, a service of the Garden of Eden. We're able to enjoy the best spoilers on the island. Delicious Bahamian breakfast from 7:30 each morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Today they've got peas and grits with snapper and 2 sides for lunch on the menu, so call them 819-5574. That's 8 directions and to make your order. Ritzy Ryan and Sky look at traffic in real time. I'm VANN.
Michael was in a horrible car accident. Prudential Loss Adjusters managed his claim and got him the settlement he deserved. Sierra's roof received hurricane damage. Thanks to Prudential, she and her kids are happy with their claim settlement. Tammy fractured her ankle in a slip and fall. Prudential saved her time, money, and peace of mind. Prudential Loss Adjusters are here for you whenever a tragedy strikes. Call 322-4026 now.
Don't wait for disaster to strike. This hurricane season, be ready. Protect your home with an affordable and comprehensive home insurance policy from Shield Insurance. You can't control what nature blows your way, but with Shield Insurance, you can rest easy as you ride out the storm. Protect your largest and most valuable investment. Don't take a chance. Put your home in our hands.
Shield Insurance agents and brokers in Nassau. Call 356-7202 or Freeport 352-5945.
Girl, you see how Cora eye look funny, all black up yesterday?
But she say she bumped into a wall when she's running after the churn dam.
Yeah, but last Saturday you see her arm was all black and blue, right?
So what you saying? You think something wrong between her and Jack?
I ain't sure, but you know Jack is a jealous man. I hear him and Cora last Friday. I hear him say he hear Cora have eyes for Junior.
Now you know that ain't true. Cora is a good woman. Does mind her business, take care of them children, and go to church every Sunday. So what you think we should do?
I think we should report Jack, you know. Cora don't say nothing, but silence hides violence. And cemetery.
Not me. I ain't getting in nobody business. Then Jack come after me, and I land up next to Cora.
No, man, we could call a text Crime Stopper. And remember, we can even get some grocery money for our tip.
Remind me again, how does this work?
We can call them in Miami at 328-TIPS or 328-8477. Or when we in the island, call toll-free at 300-TIPS or 300-8477. And if you don't have no minutes, use the Crack Crime Bahamas app and we could text them and the messages get on mix up before it leave your phone so nobody can know what you saying.
So what we waiting on then? Let's go earn some grocery money.
Helping out each other, family and everybody. It's a simple act of kindness with you, me, and RBC.
RBC wants to spread acts of kindness during this festive season. One simple act of kindness for our friends, co-workers, and communities can cause the brightest smile. Help a stranger, give a food basket, or call an elderly person. Share your stories at facebook.com/RBC Caribbean.
Acts of kindness, RBC.
Janae's Christmas Wonderland is open under the Big Tent. Get 20 to 50% off selected Christmas decorations. Restrictions apply. Trees in pink, frosted green or white in a variety of sizes. LED and laser angels, Santa tree toppers, bright and lively colored Christmas balls, garlands, wreaths, red and white stringed cranberry, tree skirts, stockings, and lots more. Add flowers, picks, and decorative mesh to brighten up your home or office this holiday season. And don't forget the toys at Janae's Chesapeake Road. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Janae's Limited. WhatsApp 817-3295.
You can win. You can win. Everybody can win with Esso this Christmas.
Win with Esso every week in the Fill Up and Win this Christmas promotion. Simply spend $25 or more in fuel, write your name, email, and telephone number on the back of your receipt, and drop it in the entry box provided for your chance to win loads of weekly prizes. Promotion ends December 22nd, 2021. Terms and conditions apply. Visit bettergasmileage.com/fill-up-and-win for more details. The Esso brand is a trademark of ExxonMobil Corporation and is used under license.
Let me ask you a few questions. What's your name?
Pam.
Favorite food?
Steak.
Beer or wine?
Wine.
Is your money safe?
It's under my bed, so I guess so.
Are you serious?
Yeah, why?
Unless your money is in a bank or credit union that's a member of the Deposit Insurance Corporation, there's no guarantee it's safe.
Yeah, but what if something happens to the bank?
Your Bahamian dollar deposits are insured up to $50,000, so you'd still be ahead. Plus, your mattress might catch fire. Then what?
Man, those banks and credit unions are looking good right about now.
Visit the DIC's website at www.dic.bs. Protection for your money guaranteed with DIC.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And it's time for your Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle drawing for this morning. We've got two great prizes to give away, and you could be the name I call. Are you registered yet? VaxBahamas.com. VaxBahamas.com if you are vaccinated against COVID or even partially vaccinated. That's all you have to do to be registered. It'll take you a couple minutes, and every day we give away fantastic prizes. Like what we're going to do today. 2 passes on Dolphin Encounters and 4 bottles of Smirnoff. Just in time for the weekend. The winners, let's do this. Let's give away the 4 bottles of Smirnoff. The winner of the 4 bottles of Smirnoff, Siobhan Lockhart. Siobhan Lockhart, Shavon Lockhart. You've won 4 bottles of Smirnoff. Our partners at the U.S. Embassy will be in contact with you to let you know how you can collect your prizes. And then we've got 2 passes on Dolphin Encounters. 2 passes on Dolphin Encounters. The winner, Brandon Fernander. Brandon Fernanda, you've won 2 passes on Dolphin Encounters. You're going to have a great time with that. Congratulations to our winners for today. Remember to register vaxbahamas.com.
It's a celebration.
At Fidelity, the holidays are all about family, spending time with loved ones, and being thankful for the little things in life. Worrying about bills should be the last thing on your mind, especially during the holidays. Let Fidelity help you get your bills under control. Fidelity can also get you started with a real savings plan that actually pays you interest. The only thing you need to think about is what you will do with the savings in your pocket this Christmas. Now that's what I'm talking about. Fidelity Bank is here for you this holiday season because you are family, and family is important to us.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Time for your morning business report. A fraction of a $35 million Inter-American Development Bank loan that was granted nearly 5 years ago has been utilized. That's according to Minister of Works and Utilities Alfred Sayers. Sayers saying yesterday that an IDB official called the loan facility, which was meant to go towards the improvement of 4 Family Island airports. He said it was the lowest performing loan in the region. The loan was intended to improve infrastructure at airports in Exuma, North Eleuthera, Marsh, Harbor, Abaco, and Treasure Key. The government had also planned to finance some of those airports in part through public-private partnerships. The 2017 IDB loan was intended to improve those airports, as he said. It has a term of 25 years with a 5.5-year grace period at LIBOR-based interest rate. Sears, though, noting that the government had also planned to finance some of those airports, as we said, through PPPs. The matter came up when discussing plans for the Grand Bahama International Airport. Stopover visitors to the Bahamas grew by more than 25% in October compared to September this year, with more than 52,900 visitors for the month, which represents 68.2% of the visitors that came in October 2019. From the Ministry of Tourism were shared with the Tourism Analytics website, which charts tourism statistics in the region. A threat to coral known as stony coral tissue loss disease could devastate the Bahamas' fisheries industry and other industries if scientists cannot find a way to protect and preserve this country's coral reefs. That's according to Director of Department of Environmental Planning and Protection, Rochelle Newbold. She says that the disease could lead to the loss of 50 meters of coral per day. And CBS Bahamas revealing that its recent Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales resulted in a 113% increase in revenue over 2020 and a 28% increase over 2019. Brent Burrows, who's the company's manager of e-commerce and marketing, said the company was blown away by the level of traffic and revenue, particularly after the challenges last year due to COVID-19. Overseas, U.S. President Joe Biden's latest measures to limit the spread of COVID-19 will increase the hassle factor of flying into the U.S., even for American citizens returning from overseas. Beginning next week, travelers heading to the U.S. will be required to show evidence of a negative test for the virus within 1 day of boarding their flight. The previous period was 3 days. Also, Biden will extend the federal rule requiring passengers on planes, trains, and buses to wear face masks through March 18th. It was scheduled to expire in mid-January. Came out quickly, underscoring the urgency for the White House to act ahead of the winter when the virus can spread more easily among people indoors. And since the discovery of the new Omicron variant, the first U.S. case of Omicron was discovered in California and reported by the administration on And more from the U.S., America's employers slowed the pace of their hiring in November, adding just 210,000 jobs to the lowest monthly gain in nearly a year. But Friday's report from the Labor Department also showed that the nation's unemployment rate tumbled from 4.6% to 4.2%, evidence that many more people reported that they had a job. That is an historically low jobless rate, though still above the pre-pandemic level of 3.5%. Closer to home in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX. From Thursday, your market mover is Commonwealth Bank moving 7,884 shares, closing unchanged at $275. Galena Holdings moving 10,250, unchanged at $7. Focall moving 4,800, down 14 cents to $3.52. Consolidated Water up 3 cents to $2.13, and Emira Incorporated up 7 cents to $11.24. The BISX All Share Index closing at 2,128.46.15. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report. Brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Right, y'all. We're going down Bay Street one time. Come on. You know what I'm saying? We're going to bust this one.
And we're back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan speaking with Dion Miller with the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence and Ellery DeVoe with the Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Culture, the Junkanoo Coordinator. All right, so we're getting details about the virtual Junkanoo event for Boxing Day. And what about the Family Islands? We heard a little bit yesterday about this. They will be doing something similar. Is that right?
Yes. The ministry is planning on having virtual showcasing of the different family islands. So that's they are also included with the virtual New Providence. So it will be shared out equally.
Yep. Okay. All right. So we were talking about it earlier that folks are seeing what's happening in the U.S. The crowds are there for sporting events. They're outside. Some people aren't wearing masks. That's a different story. But that's happening. Why couldn't we? I know money was a big issue, but maybe for early next year, why does it seem like it's so much more difficult for us here?
Let's from the government aspect, we have to be very careful on how we need to protect our people. So we have to do everything smartly. We see that, like I said, the country is opening up. Actually, the world is opening up, and we're still trying to figure out the best ways to enjoy ourselves and have Junkanoo safely. But we can't jeopardize the general public by, just putting them in jeopardy, having an event, but we're not adhering to the rules. So we have to make sure everything is correct, just for the aspect of keeping the people safe.
Yeah. Folks, if you have any questions, call in 323-6232. 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right, so what's been the reaction? And maybe some people might not have heard about it. What you're proposing is for the seating areas that you'd basically cut it in half with the number of available seats so that there can be social distancing. What are you hearing so far from folks about this?
The reaction so far has been positive. A lot of persons, I was speaking truthfully, would have loved if we could have already got started this year. I think everyone is realizing the environment. When I mean environment, the COVID environment that the world is currently in. The current COVID and COVID-like occurrences will be with us for the near future. And so everyone has been well received to it, and so it's just a matter of us having those protocols, having those strict protocols, being able to enforce those mandates, those protocols to produce a safe and effective parades. In terms of the Junkanoo, Junkanoo want to get back to doing what they love to do. That is celebrating and participating in Junkanoo. But even for Junkanoo, there will be a number of changes into the practices and the ways that we used to do Junkanoo. For example, there will be several recommendations on how one to conduct themselves in the shack. And so we'll encourage Junkanoo groups to move away from having large amounts of Junkanoos in the shack at the same time. And so we have a scheduling system where they have a maximum number of persons in the shack at any one given time. We're going to work with Junkanoo groups to ensure that their facilities are brought up to code. We know a lot of shacks are just that, a shack, and don't have proper running water and restroom facilities. And so in 21st century living, that is unacceptable, particularly in this COVID environment. So you're going to have to ensure that your facilities have these necessities in place. You have the sanitizer at all your facilities. We're going to encourage Junkanoos that they must bring their own materials. So bring your own box cutter, bring your own chairs. Don't come to the shack if you don't have your materials, because we want to stop the cross-contamination and the sharing of the same tools. We're going to encourage our Junkanoos to work outside as much as possible with fresh, natural air to mitigate against being in a congested area, breathing in the same, oxygen and surroundings. And so there will be a lot of changes that will be incorporated into Junkanoo and how we do Junkanoo beginning as early as next year, right?
All right. So what will happen if the groups? Will there be penalties? Will there be fines? I mean, that's where we're trending, Dwight. Is the enforcement of it, because the corporation can put many policies and mandates in place for Junkanoo, but the big or the tricky thing is how do we get groups to ensure that they follow those recommendations and those guidelines. And so I can foresee where groups will be penalized. It may be points on the parade, or it may be from cash from prizes. But we will have to be strict to ensure that we are doing what we do to do our part, so we could have parades and we could take part in Junkanoo. And so it'll be a fair debate. But like I said, a lot of changes will have to come to the way we do Junkanoo going forward. So what could that entail? Like shack inspections? Would you just pop in and?
Yeah, it could be. It could be where we organize, schedule shack visits. We know that's a sensitive line of area with groups, because we're all Junkanoos and we're all attached to some Junkanoo group. And so in Junkanoo there's a lot of secrecy, and so we're gonna have to develop ways where we can trust each other and we could go and ensure that everything is being adhered to the strictest form.
Wow. All right, this text here. What about hosting the Junkanoo at Thomas E. Robinson Stadium? It's much easier to control the crowd, hands at exit. And I know that's been proposed quite a bit. But could that not have been an option this year?
Well, to answer that, me and JCMP, we had several meetings with regards of proposals where we were going to do a Junkanoo in the bubble that would have been on Bay Street. We realized that wasn't feasible. We also spoke about the stadium. But looking again, like the biggest issue what we had to work around was the budget. The budget for it was limited. So we had to be strategic and our plannings with that. But we would have had to consider all of the expenses for getting the COVID test, making sure all the gates were manded, and all of this incurs expense. The ministry would have to absorb the expense of this, and we also looked at the acoustics. That was one issue or concern. What we were looking at, but. It came up to the table, and the next location, secret location, would be planned for.
Yeah, And like I said, Dwight, I honestly believe, and I say this to Junkanoo and the public, like, if the funding was there, Dwight, then we would have been able to do some sort of bubble event. But the funding in this budgetary cycle just aren't there. I know public people see recently the carnival event, and they was like, oh, the carnival, and they could do Junkanoo bubble, but that was a private event with private funds. We've reached out to corporate Bahamas to try to incur some of this cost. And corporate Bahamas is just not in the position this year to sponsor, in meaningful ways for us to produce it. So if the government, the public first, the government doesn't have the fund, and corporate Bahamas doesn't have the fund, then so it's basically, in a nutshell, Dwight, a funding thing, and to be able to satisfy cabinet to approve eventually, you have to have all of those safety protocols and all of those things in place. And so if you can't afford it and to make it happen, and so that proposal was not approved, unfortunately, by cabinet.
Now, I don't know. We don't hear about it much, but we know in the past it used to be a thing where people would come down, visitors from other parts of the world come down and observe Junkanoo, but obviously that hasn't been happening. But are there concerns that we might be losing out on some of that? People who come specifically for this, that there's nothing now. I mean, they won't want to watch it on TV. But what are we thinking about that in terms of that? So
in general, there was a massive concern about Junkanoo tourism. Over the several years, you'll see a decline in the amount of tourists that actually are out there viewing these parades and are participating in the parades. I'm happy that the JCNP has already begun having discussions with the Ministry of Tourism in regards to Junkanoo tourism. And so with the assistance of the ministry, we're putting a proposal together as right as we speak, Dwight, to enhance and bring some of that nostalgia back to Junkanoo through tourism. And so we're looking at putting a platform together where we go with the assistance of the Ministry of Tourism and attract international guests to come down to our parade, and including their package would be their hotel stay, room and board, costume. The JCMP will have a designated fund group registered to participate on the parade for those persons. And so, like I said, we are working with the Ministry of Tourism to bring that back to what it used to be. And we're just excited. I know things seems bleak when it comes to Junkanoo. We can't do what we love to do in years past. But in terms of the administrative side of Junkanoo, there's a lot going on, and there's a lot for us to be excited and proud about. Recently, we would have just entered into agreement with the government for 13.2 acres of crown land to establish a permanent Junkanoo village for Junkanoos and international guests alike. And so we're excited about that. We're just about to start organizing our committees and begin the process of sourcing funding to bring that project out of the ground, out of the soil, into reality. And that project is where we envision a permanent home for Junkanoo, a Junkanoo museum, a Junkanoo garden, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so there's a lot still to be encouraged about in regards to Junkanoo. And I'm just hopeful and that next year we'll be able to get back to Bay Street and to doing what we love to do. But in order to do that, all of us as people and as Junkanoos, we're including that what we need to do. Despite the fact that the country is open, and we still need to adhere to COVID protocols, wear masks when in public, sanitize your hand. After consult with your physician, get the vaccine should you choose to. But we must do what we need to do to get back to doing Junkanoo and to doing things that we love to do.
Yeah. We're talking with Dion Miller with the JCNP and Ellery DeVoe with the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture. Let's take this call really quickly. We are almost out of time. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. I'm thinking to try to get my 2 cents in. Of course, I'm looking at the business portion of it, and this is something that can happen immediately because the junction groups are going to do something virtually. This right here will only add or help. We're trying to reach those people that are mostly unemployed, etc. And my idea, I'm going to cut a letter and send it to the JCN and also to Ministry of Tourism. But the bottom line is, we're going to try and use the old idea that where in the past where you had like Bonnie's Rubber Room and also King and Knights, etc. We're going to have the tour buses, like the jitneys. During the day they charge the jitneys, jitneys $1 or $1.25, etc. But we're going to go and we're going to. I hope those who can make it happen, they can reach out to the cruise ships, also to the each junction representative, music maker, Saxon, Wally Boy, and the works. And what we're going to do is, this is basically it. We're going to bus them down to the stadium. We're not going to, and no offense, but this is only for the tourists, and we're going to try and reach that tourist dollar. And we're going to charge them $5 a head. We're going to they're going to eat early, and they're going to be ready by 8 o'clock. By 8:15, between 8:50 and 8:45, they'll be to the stadium. At 9 o'clock, it's going to begin. We're going to have maybe one fire dancer for that night, one limbo, and one junction group for that night. You're going to have the cruise ships are in harbor anyway. They're not doing anything. Nassau is dead. So we're going to try and generate $5 a head. When I went to Cozumel, Mexico, they had the jitneys line off. We didn't even know about it. When we came back, we ate early.
This sounds like a commercial now. But who's we? Who's we? What is this?
Pardon?
Who's we? Who's doing this?
No. Of course, I'm only I'm a junkaneur, and I rush with one of the groups also. I wouldn't say, but I'm going to cut a letter, and I'm trying to just generate a little money now between now and Christmas, and we're going to have each of the groups. I don't know if I can probably phone number.
Leave it with the producer. And I'll pass the message on to Dion.
Yes, because I'd like to speak to whomever.
Producer, can you get that? Yeah. All right. Well, people have got their ideas there, but all right. So this is going to happen. The virtual event is going to be on Boxing Day, and that's where we are. That is confirmed, and that's that. Is that right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. The show is on the road. The horse is out of the gate.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. You all sound very excited, and I see some people messaging me in the groups. They're saying they are excited as well. I'm a little on the fence, but okay. If you're happy, I'm happy, and we'll, as you said, hopefully next year we'll all get back to normal.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much, Dion Miller and Ellery DeVoe. Appreciate you talking with us and giving us this important update. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So, thank you, Dwight. Thank you, Bahamas.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, that's it for us today. I'll be back on Monday with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great day. Have a wonderful, safe weekend. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.